Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Whims of the Creator. I am your host, J3 Puffin, and I am once again joined by Gadget
Hello.
and Weeb.
Who up Umineko right now?
We are. We're going to be talking about part 2 of Umineko. Red cards. Don't mind us. We've had some interesting technical changes. We'll make do. It is fine. Let's start
We'll be
off.
country girls.
I'm just gonna blame it on
like
the
a country
hurricane at this
girl and
point.
Nick do.
Oh, yeah. That's a good thing to blame it on, actually.
Yeah.
The fucking
Wait, about
hurricane.
Yo, that's an Umineko reference. Hurricanes, typhoons.
Oh,
Hey
my
yo.
Oh, wow.
God. Alright, let's talk about some actual cards then, before I lose too many more brain cells. This is Demon Butler Ranov, or Ranov.
Ronove.
Ranov?
Ronove.
Ronove.
Okay.
He is
That's fair.
French.
I mean, yeah, that is how the Japanese people would spell that word. That makes sense. So when your climax is placed in your climax area, you can pitch a card to draw, and it is a salvage brainstorm. A traded salvage brainstorm.
Woohoo!
Yahoo.
Alright, so I do like these kind of hand filtery brainstorms do something when conditions met. I don't like that it's only basically playing a climax is an action that can only occur on turn. So you're only ever gonna get to do that drop and draw on turn. So many sets have brainstorms that are like when you play an event or like when you do a thing, right? You do the thing, right? So like obviously Danmachi has ditch one, draw one when you play an event, and Freerin has like scry one when you play an event up to 3 times per turn, right? Those are some of my favorite types of brainstorms nowadays because they can be active during either player's turn if you have a counter event in your set. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be quite as good as that, but it is still good. Obviously, this is like the only salvage brainstorm in the set, I'm pretty sure. So like you're probably playing this if you have to.
I'm pretty sure Anji is a salvage brainstorm, but she's in blue. Salvage a family or magic character in waiting room. Okay. So yeah, if you want to play tap 2, mill 5.
Yeah, I was going to say she's tap 2. Yeah, okay.
She mills 5, so that could be a benefit.
True.
Like the biggest implication with this card outside of just being like a brainstormer for salvaging is that this set does have standby, so you can play the standby trigger so you get the ditch and draw and then trigger the actual standby effect to reanimate something.
Holy moly. Now that's gaming right there. Is it better than Muna?
Yes.
Oh no, because Muna's just the Rico thing. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
It's not quite that good, but like yeah.
And also for standby purposes, I feel like search versus salvage, there is definitely an argument to be made. For like early game, you would rather have a search brainstorm than a salvage. Also, my primary note on this card was that there is a double rare brainstorm in Beaufry in green that is just this card, but almost strictly better. Like it's the difference between search and traded salvage.
It's search and salvage, and the Beaufry one is you can play climaxes without meeting color requirements.
Yeah, that card just has a bunch of extra text on it that makes better use of its power, whereas this is like...
The Deadpool Brainstorm in Marvel also has that first line of text on the valley, where you can play events or climaxes without color requirements. The point is that this isn't a bad card, but there's precedence for it to be potentially stronger than it is.
Yeah.
I think for your sake, it doesn't really matter. You're probably playing a 3-color split anyway. I don't know that you'd want to play the blue events in a mono standby deck anyway. You could play the clock event in blue if you did that. I don't know how good this is, but you might need it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see the clock event later.
Yeah,
but it's an event that can potentially close the game if you need to. So
yeah, as it is, it's a brainstorm. It's a fine brainstorm. B for brainstorm.
Oh, I gotta rate this. Yeah, it's a straight B.
They're better. They're definitely worse. Is it a double R? Maybe not in modern times, but it'll get the job done.
Alrighty then.
What's this guy's deal?
He's just a servant that hangs out in like the witch's realm, and he makes cookies and tea.
Gotcha. All right. Simple
and
enough.
he likes. He's just a cool dude.
Right.
Well,
congrats.
We like cool dudes, dude.
Yeah. Right.
Ready.
Next up.
Oh.
Okay, so we've got this pretty funny card. This is Golden Witch Beatrice, not to be confused with Beatrice or
Beatrice.
Beatrice or Anja Beatrice, right? That's the other one.
It's
Eva Beatrice. That's right.
Yeah. Eva Beatrice, Anji Beatrice, Beatrice, and Beatrice, and Beatrice.
Easy to remember.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. When she attacks, she gets 1,000 for every character on the opponent's stage, so she can peek at 8K if the opponent has a full board. 9K with Climax, pretty good. And then when the conflict of interest, which is this door, is placed in your Climax area, we have 2 or more characters. It gets 2 abilities on attack, pay 1, twin drive, and then when it's front attack, you may return this card to your hand. I think this is great. The Climax combo is Obero. A trillion sets have this. Hololive has it in yellow. I think Saikano has it in green.
Mhm.
Konosuba has it in red. Star Wars has it in blue. It's like profile, they print in every color. Usually when you see Obero, it's defensively slanted. Like it'll be a 5/5 cross turn. This is offensively statted, which I think is way better.
Oh
It
yeah.
means that this can win its lane, and then when your opponent tries to front and kill it back, it just says haha no and runs away. Which I think, given how like the meta's gone, like it used to be Obero would just be a card that just sat there, did nothing, and then plus itself. But this being able to kill its opponent pretty much guaranteed, and then plussing itself is a much more, you're much more incentivized to play this than you would a regular Obero,
Oh, yeah.
which I like.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well-
That's just so much power. I can't complain about it because I gave like a crazier combo to a door in freaking No Patience with the promo. But on the like in that same vein, just like
Oh yeah, you did.
this card doesn't need the climax for the power. Whatever you do with it, you can just slot 4 of this in a deck. It's just like a 9K or an
Okay.
8K.
Yeah, she's just big. She's just funny. Look at that fang. It's cute.
MSR
I should
Vegas
say,
technology.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of days since we recorded Yellow, so I'm trying to refresh myself with what was in here. Obviously, if you were playing standby, you'd like to have a twin driver, but other than that, there's not really any benefit. I guess you could play this with choice to maybe trigger more choices or pay out the
Yeah.
choices.
You
But
could be
like,
really funny, run 2 level 1 climax combos, and have a shot.
okay. Or, and hear me out, you play 2 level 1 combos, one being the door and one being the choice,
Yeah.
and then into your choice finisher.
No. Why would you play good cards?
Well, because you make them. If you make good cards, people will play them. You know, they say if you make it, people will come.
Okay.
And if you make it, people will come.
Ooh.
Semantic games. Anyway, this is
Not monetized, by the way.
If you say so, girl
in
boss.
case anyone ever wondered.
Thanks.
Dude.
But yeah, just like
Yeah.
8 to 9K, like in any deck, and also a combo that can just recycle itself, so it's
Yeah,
constantly
so
getting
in
that power.
designing this, I had to like do some big brain thinking because there is one card that has like the first effect, the on attack gain 1000 power, and it's from Bochi, but it also has an effect where it's on reverse. If you have a choice climax, draw 2 ditch 2, which is also like the only effect of its kind. So I had to like try and gather or interpret what power budgeting would be from a card that has 2 completely unique effects to itself, at least in English, and just
Right.
try and make it work.
Here's the fun part. This effect does actually exist other places in English.
I've seen like stuff where it's like on play gain power, but from what it looks like on play and on attack is like a different cost like multiplier.
There's like it's a blue Rimuru in one of the slime sets that
Ah,
either gets it or gives it to someone else. And so my note on this, because I've used this effect before, which is gonna blow your mind, because this is again similar to the ASCII text, right? This is actually 1K under spec.
yo, it could be at 9K.
As far as I can tell, it is 1K.
No, it could be a
under spec.
10K. It can be
Yeah.
a 10K
With climax down,
combo.
it could get to 10K. This multiplier is insane.
It's perfecto.
I still say that is sus. I mean, like, you remember how much I hated that lightsaber ASCII.
you were
But-
not a fan of Panzer Jäger.
I mean, it's cool, but I don't think it's. I cannot get past the fact that it's that it as high as it is. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
But,
ASCII was the
having
exception.
said that, I don't know. Like the fact that this peaks at what is it? Number of opponents care. So like that it
With
peaks at
5.
9K with climax, right?
Yeah.
Like you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. There's
It's stupid hard to defend against, even with backup sub.
I know.
Unless your
Yeah.
combo is like
Well,
exactly slanted for it, or your early
the
play
thing
or
is,
something.
I mean, this is what's frustrating, right? It's not necessarily that it's imbalanced. It's not what I'm concerned about. Oh, they haven't translated these yet. There's a Marvel card. It's 4K on turn, and then on turn, if you have, I think it's 3 or more Marvel characters, it gains 4K static. So basically, it's similar to this, and that card's also 4K base. So like, you can justify having this be 4K. It's just so wild to me that theoretically makes this top out at 10K for an Obero, which I don't think is fair, but the math does support it.
Word it.
Yeah.
I would absolutely play this.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer.
Yeah, I would too.
I prefer Bar Gate Obero just because like
it makes it more
recycle
consistent.
The climax, yeah.
Yeah.
But it is
I'll
still
say
perfectly fine on it.
Green does not exist in this set, so yippee.
I'll say something also, which is I've played the superior combo in Hololive before with Maureen, and when you do that, like you understand that you're foregoing a level 1 combo to plus you because Hololive is just so consistent at getting what you need, right? You can play the Subaru Akatsuki, you can play the Fubuki Shiro, you can play Mio. This set has Fuka Zero, it has some nice drop charges. It's not quite as consistent as Hololive, but the point is when you play a card like this, sometimes you can play a card like this just to like play clean. You don't do twin draw every time.
Yeah.
You just pay out the climax you trigger, and then just go through your deck every turn and try to play as clean as you can. And that is a potential game plan that this deck has. It's not what I would go for. I think that the Pants or the Magnify combo is way better than this, but you do have that option of just kind of playing clean and going fast. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a funny card. You'll see a theme with a lot of the Beatrice cards, at least in red, that have this specific form of Beatrice, because there's a lot of Beatrices.
Yeah, our next card does still have the same Beatrice on it.
Yeah.
Her outfit's a little bit different. Well, no, it's just different lighting.
It's just different lighting. Escape from Rokenjima, Battler, and Beatrice. 3/2 trigger 9/5 power. During your turn, this gains 500 for each of your other traded characters. On play, heal and CX combo. Pay 2, ditch 2 traded characters. At the start of the encore step, if Never Letting Go is in the climax area and your opponent does not have any other characters in the center stage, or all the characters are reversed, you may pay the cost. If you do, burn 2 twice.
Is there a card that already has this ability?
I know there's Birdcage Yukina that's on reverse pay cost, burn 2 twice. But when I was making the card, I completely forgot about it until after we did the yellow set review.
Birdcage Yukina is pay 3, ditch 2 when her opponent is reversed. This is pay 2, ditch 2, start of encore step if you have fever. So even like with that in mind, this could potentially be maybe even costed less than that. Because the thing with this is being encore step is if your opponent memory kicks you, then you're losing 1 copy of this that you can do because you're not going to have it on board.
Yeah.
And you don't get to do the combo like on attack like another deck would. Like on attack, burn 2 twice. Like other sets have that. I think JB, you have to remind me. Is it Grisaya Phantom Trigger that has this? Something like that?
That has like the most basic form of deal 2 twice.
Yeah, Heaven Burns Red was the one I was thinking of. That's the big one. Heaven Burns Red has like a pay 2 and like a pay cost, and then in the following order you can burn 1, burn 2, or burn 2, burn 1.
So,
but this is encore step. You're burning 2 twice for pay 2, ditch 2. That doesn't even seem that OP. It's just, but you have to have the fever for it.
It also activates backstage.
Huh?
This doesn't say this card is in your center stage, which is why pay 2, pitch 2 traits actually is a fair cost for it, because they have these encore burns that are like, well, okay, yes and no. So, what sets do y'all know that have the back row burn effect? There aren't that many.
The only one I know that can be activated from back row is like Guilty Gear, because I played that at regionals.
So this seems like a wording mistake, but as written, if your opponent has no characters or if they're all reversed, even if it's like, because it doesn't say this card's in your center stage, you could just have 2 of this in your backstage and just do it whatever.
Nah, what you do is you have 5 of them and you cheat and you just pay all the costs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But by having 10 characters in hand and 10 stock. Yeah, that's the thing about it, right? Like, on the one hand,
I mean, it's an 8-door deck. You could do it.
Yeah, like
you can trigger door 3 times.
It's a back row like burn option. Like, it's a way that you could do that. It's not on standby, which would be like where you would see this effect and be like, oh dear God, yes. And like they have like Ayakashi Triangle has a variant of this where it's like it gives an effect like at similar cost, but it's giving it to like all of a name, and the price is like pay to just ditch anything. I don't think it's not burn two twice. It's like I think it's just flat burn two. But what this is doing is it's taking that one flat discard into discard two trait, which is a substantial increase in cost, and then you're also requiring the fever trigger condition.
Mhm.
So I was looking at this and like I don't. It's close because the going rate for deal two twice on just a burn effect, because apparently this exists. I don't know what card it is because it didn't make that note. Pay for ditch two on attack.
Yeah, or
So
pay
like
3 ditch 2 on reverse.
so this is like comparable to that, in close enough, and like it works out. It seems fine, and yeah, it seems
I
like
guess
the thing you can build around. It seems like it's all right. It's just that it is
what
small for what it's trying to do. If it's going to be the guy getting the reverses, and
well, it's not that small. It's 11.5.
It's 11.5,
About as big as
and
it can be.
you have ways to pump power and decrease power. So
the decreased power definitely helps for sure. Versus
All
like
right. So, JB, are we going to operate under the assumption that this is center stage only, or do you think this is like if this
Yeah.
card can resolve in backstage? Do you think it's like an S tier broken busted card?
if you're gonna resolve on backstage, it's still fine. It is still
Yeah.
like intrusive cost and condition, even for this
All right.
setup. This is perfectly fine.
So here's the thing that I think people are gonna forget. Because it's a encore phase burn, you only need 9 stock to triple this. So you can slam 3 in your front row for 6 stock, and then the ones that attack generate you 3 of the stock you need to resolve all 3 of them.
Yeah.
So and again, 9 stock to triple, but to double it, it's only I think like 5. Because you're hard playing 2,
Yeah.
you're generating 3 stock from your attacks. You only need 1 floating to resolve this twice.
Yeah.
And I think that might be like it's deceptive, right? Remember, triple Marion is 1 stock to get all 3 out, and you only need 3 hand to do that. This is you need 4 hand 5 stock, and you're burning 2. I don't think it's too much, but I guess the other thing is you do have to either kill all their characters or make sure they. So it's not like that, but like the third lane will still be something that you need to invest in. It won't just be a shitter you can put up there. It does have to win. You do have to win all 3 lanes, or have a way to remove one of their characters.
Yeah. If we've got like
Is there a way to hard remove characters in this set?
Yeah.
Technically, yes.
Is there a card like the Guild Thunder in 7 to the Sin that just bounces the character?
Where bounces? I don't think there's a bouncer. There is definitely a way to wipe the board, and there's a way to rearrange the board.
The board wipe has a different thing going on
Yeah.
with its life, which we will
But
definitely get to.
it
But
is physically possible.
yeah, the board rearrange is on a freaking event. So like it is accessible enough. You can get it done.
It's on an event.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the
It's the
no?
letter.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Slide
Oh,
58.
the letter. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. Experimental technology. I have
Okay.
10 notes on it at least.
Okay. That actually is pretty cool.
Yeah. So like put that together with this, only needing to you can pretty easily clear 2 lanes as long as your opponent actually play it out as just a Brackrow still. And that's like, all right, you need to kill 1 lane, and then that 1 lane you've got like power pump, power decrease. All right, so this is probably consistent enough to be a contender at least. Yeah. Playtesting required, but I think it's at least budgeted
correctly. Question mark.
Yeah, like it passes muster enough after the.
Yeah, the other thing is if you're playing that event in the deck, you're gonna have less characters in your hand to ditch with this.
Yeah.
So it actually makes having the 4 characters to double a downside. I still think even with that in mind, it reads really good, and they give it an A+.
Yeah.
Deal 2 twice is just such a very. It's like probably.
Yeah.
It used to be burn 3 straight was the best thing you could do in White Shorts, but I think burn 2 twice with the amount of compression some decks can get right now is close to the best thing you can do.
It's definitely a step up.
Lee.
I get why they price them differently.
Yeah, and it heals. Like it just does everything you need a finisher to do.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Speaking of cards, the do things.
Do things.
Yeah.
This is a different Beatrice. This is a magical smell Beatrice.
Magical smell? Excuse me?
No, that's not
I
right.
mean, she
No.
probably does, but
Magic spell Beatrice. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you may pitch a family or magic character from your hand to choose a family or magic character in your clock, put it on any position of your stage. It also has a effect I am somewhat familiar with at this point. Pay 4 on attack, give one of your characters cancel burn X, where X was the damage they dealt that got canceled, aka the same damage. I've seen that pay 4 around. You also put this in your Toho set, like that, the bottom effect. Right
yeah,
up there.
I did.
The original was like a Love Live or Bang Dream card. They got reprinted in a premium set. It had like a normal heal on it or whatever. So like we know for sure that bottom effect is like 500. No real worries about that. That top effect,
This one was one of the few
of.
cards that we talked about in the Discord.
Yeah. The basically making it a traded discard requirement instead of just like
I did not read that correctly. I thought
Yeah.
this was just a heal suck.
No.
Heal to play, but it requires a traded pitch, which is like you're trading a character for a character, but you're also getting a heal out of it. There was
But
Are
you're not getting the on play of the other thing you're healing.
True. You just
Are we really sure that that's how it works? Would you pay 4 stock to give one of your characters a super burn Masashi?
Yeah, let's try.
Yeah, that's the fun of it, right? Like it has an effect. Neither of these effects go that hard as far as practicalities are concerned. There's a lot of things you would want to be able to like just kind of play for free, or either in a deck that isn't terribly used to it, like used to having like an on-play healer. It's not an early play healer, right? So it is just a level 3.
The other thing with this is like, so these sort of cards that summon from clock are just kind of incidental, right? Like if you have the card that you want in your clock already, then cool, you get it for free. But if you don't have it in your clock already, you're going to have to put it from your hand to your clock during your turn, which is going to put you 1 card closer to losing.
Well, you just clock it from your hand for turn, draw 2.
No. That's what I'm saying. I get that.
Yeah.
But like at level 3, you might not want to clock and draw for turn if you can help it.
Yeah.
You know? You might want it, like, this is forcing you, like, you're taking the heal off this to play the character for free, but instead of paying the stock for it, you're clocking yourself the character from hand and then ditching another card. Like, your hand advantage doesn't actually change that much as a result, because you can just ditch one of the cards you drew from the clock and draw, and then get the character for free that way. But, like, why would I not just play a vanilla summoner, like, that's like a on-play summon a card and then give it 2k? This isn't a bad effect, but that's where I'm coming down on it. Why wouldn't I just play a card that gets summon effect, can be 500 power stronger? Because again, the only way this is actually doing anything for you is if the character you want is already in your clock. And you don't have an Aqua Ricky in this set. You don't have an Aki Rose, do you? Like a card that can set your clock for you?
You do have a bomb that has Encore Clock from Grave.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess if you're doing that at level 2, but I don't know why you're doing that at level 2. Like, okay, cool. The character you're saving is just an on reverse, like a bottom deck bomb, I'm assuming?
It's a red reverse bomb.
It has that Miko quality of Infinite Clock Plus. We'll talk about it more when we
get to it's like fine. You might play it. I don't know. At least it's a card with 0 cost you can just kind of throw out there.
Yeah.
If you need a lane to live, this is like a lane that can live. I don't know. That's really where I'm coming down on it.
Mom and Dad are fighting again. Someone help.
Well, no, I mean, it's not that we're fighting. This is exactly the justification for the show even existing, right?
Yeah.
You look at a card like this, from the math, does it actually check out? Does it actually make sense? Like, I was thinking about this in the shower, right? This is all just algebra, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go on a tangent here, but you guys remember that card that I shared earlier this week? This card comes up. It's 500 power. It has the Rico effect. It has a soul trigger, and it has a demerit. And it's like, why would they put a demerit on a 500 power level 0, right? And the reason is because if they don't do that, the math can't work out in the system. So, like, if you look at a vanilla climax swap, for example, right? Those cards are 2,500 power, and they have one ability, which is like on play, pay a cost, ditch a climax, and salvage a climax from winning, right? So you know that effect is budgeted at 500 power because that's all those cards do, and you know that 3K power is vanilla stat line for zeros.
Yeah.
Go to your favorite trial deck and see if they have it there. They probably will. So you already know that. The King Climax swap in Seven Deadly Sins, and there's another one in Grisaya that does the same thing. On play, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck and return them on top in any order. So since you know that the Climax swap effect is 500 power, top 2 rearrange must also be 1,000 power. So that means that because those cards are statted at 1,500 power, right? So 500 for Climax swap, 1K for top 2 rearrange, and then 1,500 for base power equals 3K. Boom, got it. So now, if you look at the Ina in Hololive, the Ina Climax swap, it does the exact same thing as the King and the Grisaya Climax swap, but that card has a Soul Trigger, and it's budgeted at 500 power. So from that, you can determine that having a Soul Trigger is 1,000. Now that you know that, right? If you look at the regular power stat line for the Rico effect, the on-play, ditch card, reveal top, salvage level, extra lower, there's a Chutu in Bang Dream that has that effect, and there's also the Kobeni in Chainsaw Man that has that effect. Those cards are both 1,000 power, and that's all they do is just that effect. So if you wanted to put a Soul Trigger on your Rico profile, right, it would be a 2K plus 1K is already wait a minute. That's already 3,000 power. So you can't actually put those effects on a card without giving it a downside or demerit, right? So that's how you figure out like where all these things are coming in to make the card be 500 power. Is you have to use algebra to figure it out, right? But the thing is, this is how you figure this stuff out. Is you have to use algebra to go through the cards with just regular old vanilla effect. It's like solving differential equations. It's really not that hard. If you've done middle school math, you can figure it out. But thankfully, a lot of the guys in the community already have spreadsheets that tell us what power budgeting is. So it tends to save time. But
Discord.
it's an important thing to remember on these.
Like the pin message as well.
Yeah, the pin one is the
Yeah.
one that I stole and then just kept expanding on because that one's
Yeah.
like 2 or 3
Yeah,
years old at this
it's
point.
really bad. And somebody needs to like replace that one with whatever JB and Spyro have because like my God, I cannot follow that spreadsheet at all. It doesn't make any sense. All right, I'm gonna be bold here. I don't think you play this card.
Yeah.
I think the effects are fine. Since we've gone over the spiel, I think that it's quote unquote fair. But again, I think the only time you'd ever play it for the first line of text is if you already had the character in clock. Clocking it to hand doesn't really give you any benefit. I would rather just play a summoner. It's not bad, but I don't think this is the first card I look to in this.
Well, the
Yeah.
reason
maybe-
the effect is like specifically that way. There's a scene. It's kind of like the first instance of magic we see in Umineko, and it's repairing a broken vase. But her powers are she can't stop something from being broken, but she can delay it from being broken. Like eventually the vase will fall apart again, and that's kind of like this version of Beatrice's like whole shtick. So like the idea is she is healing off of you to fix your clock, or it's the flavor text. Try closing your eyes. Remember what form did you have? So it's just kind of a more unique way of doing a quote unquote revival type of effect.
Yeah, if you had there's an old like a reincarnation effect, like the old like D&D spell list, right? Like they had a spell that was like true resurrection, but you don't come back the same like a character race you were, right? You come back as like an elf if you're a dwarf,
Yeah.
kind of shit. Like that kind of effect also would work for that. It'd be pretty cool for that, I think. But yeah, it's one of those things, right? We have those yellow cards that don't have level 3 effects for one reason
So
or
you
another.
just bring them out with Beatrice.
Like, yeah, like there is that case for like if you keep those cards designed the way where they don't have on play effects, like that still works as a payoff. Like a reason to like a consideration. But yeah, in and of itself, you usually want to be playing things from hand. And the pay for effect is cool, but I've also like I've never actually seen it used because I've never played against the set that has it. And I put it in a set knowing that it wasn't like a go-to effect. Like, it would need some work to get there.
Well, like it's generally used on stuff like these where it has like a free play option. Because you save stock with the other character, you have the resources to do its effect.
Right. Yeah, because you just, even at the worst, it's like you play 2 level 3s, you play This spot, that's
like-
the thing. Like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Vision is there. But I think I do end up in the same spot.
Yeah.
Maybe at B- instead of C+. I'll actually do that just so that we have the full line.
Yeah.
Conga line directly
So we have, so it all looks a little neat.
visual continuity.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I would be interested in trying this, but I have no idea where you're.
I should say also,
play used.
I do think this card deserves to be a double rare given the two effects. They're kind of like new. They're cards they're effects that they don't print often. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty.
This is a red truth Beatrice. So it's a on reverse bomb for level 0 characters, and then at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you can move this card to a open position on the center stage with a character facing it. So it's a chaser and it's a bomb. Nothing wrong with that, except for the fact that you literally printed the best kind of chaser profile, I think.
Yeah.
I kind of wish, just for variety, that this would just like run away,
Yeah.
or just free run. Like if this was a free runner, you could make it 1k power,
Yeah.
which means it would be able to bomb more things. You know.
I guess. Yeah.
I think in general I give this a C, but like just given
Yeah.
the context of what this already has, I have to give it a D plus.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever playing.
So funny thing, when I like go back and do like all the edits, I'm gonna try and make stuff because in Umineko there's these things called colored truths. There's blue, red, gold, and purple. So red truths are statements that you can say in the color of red where you don't need evidence to support it. It is treated as factual. So in this scene, they are currently arguing over a locked room murder. And this is like one of the very earliest instances of the red truth, where Beatrice is saying, oh, in red, these deaths were homicides. There were no suicides. There were no unknown keys hidden throughout the mansion. Like all the clues are given to you. And one of the things she says is that she just says, you are incompetent in red.
Just makes
Wow.
that a statement.
Yeah, like that is a true statement. I do not need evidence to support this. You are incompetent.
That's
rough, buddy.
That's pretty sus.
So I want to either go back, like edit like the MSC files, like the actual program file itself, or go into like Photoshop and like just make some of these texts like the respective colors, just so it would look nicer.
Be fun. I did have minor note, which is that they printed this in premium set 1. When I said the Miko was the next card, it's because this is a Sakura Miko card as well. This kind of thing, like with a slightly better removal effect, also because it reverts the power, but like, can you imagine a chaser bottom deck bomb? You put that in your backstage, and that is just like, all right, Pinhead, your time is up. As a reverse bomb, yeah, it's just kind of whatever.
It's pretty mid, yeah.
So like it probably doesn't need to be like we had with yellow. There are cards in later rarities that do deserve this slot.
Yeah, if this was a free runner or a mill runner, like maybe I could see it, but not as a chaser. There's no way. I mean, you already have a really good chaser as a double rare.
I mean, chaser is the ideal profile for a bomb because it's putting you in front of a character.
Yeah, but again, if you made it a free runner, you could be a 500 power weaker.
Yeah.
And if you made it a mill runner, you would at least have 1 card deck speed, which helps you during combat.
Yeah, that's true.
And like I said, you already have a chaser. You're already overlapping with another card in the set that you're probably playing 4 of.
They gave it a solo trigger.
Sure. Ooh.
No.
If I was a bad designer.
If I was building HoloLive.
Live.
We've been over this, JB. Just because Scrooge McDuck exists doesn't mean you get to put a soul trigger on every mid level 0 in your deck.
But on the other
even
hand,
though it would probably be okay.
Yeah, like it's not like this set has an effect that relies on soul triggers or like your choice triggers or stock.
No. I mean, but again, it's a landmine, right? I mean, like, Spy Family has a ton of cards, and Bochi has actually also a ton of cards with soul triggers on them in yellow because they want them to be more flexible with choice. But it makes future set design potentially problematic because they can't print anything like Gura. They can't print anything like Ayakashi has with their soul trigger shenanigans because you're going to have a critical mass of cards with soul triggers that just make things toxic, you know? That's the one thing you got to be careful of.
If you're not planning on doing future support, you'd be a little bit more liberal about it. If you're doing long-running series, Architects, you can't do that shit. And it's
Nah, this is when I make another set for Umineko based around the stage play.
the stage play.
Yeah.
That would work. That would do a thing. All right. Speaking of cards that do
Hey.
things.
Ah.
Oh, she's got a gift.
Beatrice, my beloved. She is one of my favorite characters. Endless Killing, Ava Beatrice, 3510. On play, you give something free encore. So next time it would die this turn, return it as rested. And climax combos, put a traded character from stage into waiting room on attack if the standby isn't this fun is in your climax area. Perform the action 2 times, reveal top cards, traded character or event, put it into your hand.
You want to talk about fractions, Gadget? This is probably a fraction.
And while we all argue,
So
we can just watch Avatress do a little shimmy.
It is a
yeah,
very
where'd
nice
you get
shimmy.
the
Uh,
Marvel versus Capcom neutral there gift?
Yeah.
That's from the fighting game Golden Fantasia.
Yes, there is actually a fighting
Oh,
game. Brilliant.
cool.
Is it? Wait, is that like a crossover fighting game, or is it
No, it's just
just?
Umineko. It's just Umineko.
That's
It's in
Oh wow.
universe.
That's amazing. All
Yeah.
right, so this is
Yeah.
wild. All right, so there is. We know that we have like the bottom combo is like the coterie combo, but it's requiring a
A
sack.
cost.
Yeah, like a sack. The coterie is a 1K combo on that card.
Yeah.
So
Because
this
it's
doesn't need the trait requirement on the sack to be a 500 combo because it just needs to say other character because that's equivalent to a stock. Trait equivalent makes it equivalent to a discard. However, that top effect may or may not be fractional because I've never seen a card that just handed someone
the
free encore.
only card I know of that does this is there is a card in one of the Haruhi sets that does this.
Oh, okay.
It's like its only effect is on play from hand or from change, give something free encore.
I feel like
Yeah. And from hand or change is like that doesn't matter. It could just be
Yeah.
on play from hand and be
Yeah.
the same line.
So that does exist. Okay, interesting.
Well, what's the power budgeting on that? Is it 500 or is it 1K?
I think it's 1K on that.
Yeah. Okay. So this should just let you sack whatever the
Yeah.
hell you want.
Oh, of
And it
course,
would
it's
Yeah.
the alien girl.
and also be 500 power bigger.
Yeah.
If it was 4K and
Yeah.
second, I think
My
it's perfectly.
yeah, I know like that is like the correct way to put it, but this is on a standby, which is like I felt like I should probably make it a little smaller just like out of principle because it's just on such a good trigger. And also when you play the climax, you're getting a card back out of it because you spend a card from hand to get a card from your graveyard. So playing the climax doesn't neg you at all like
Right, but
most climaxes.
this isn't an on climax play skill. It's an on attack skill.
Yeah, it's an on attack
Like
skill.
the thing with coterie was if you saw the choice, you were stuck. So like I've played a lot of 8-choice data line
Oh,
with
yeah.
coterie, and like you
Yeah,
can
'cause it
go,
stays
okay,
there.
cool. I attack, I get a character to hand. I attack, I get a character to hand. I attack, I trigger a character. All right, cool. If your next lane is then I attack, I reveal a climax. Oh shit! Well, my
Yeah,
second
it's
check
stuck
also reveals a
there.
climax then. Right. So the thing is, choice is still a plussing trigger. You're still gonna get hand or stock by triggering it. You could argue that being able to stand by stuff like over these is potentially good, but it's not any better than getting a card to hand or a card to stock in terms of I think Bushi Road. So you could just make this the straight coterie and have it be fine, or I think you
Yeah.
do what JB said. You make this.
Well,
You
the
make this.
idea
You
of the
make this up to
sack thing is a
4K.
flavor reason, so
Yeah, and that's fine too. But just make it a 4K then. I think that's fine as
yeah.
well.
Alright,
Here's the other thing I will say. We've talked before a little bit about Haruhi privilege because there are a lot of effects in Haruhi
Yeah.
that don't exist anywhere else in White Schwartz. I mean, like perfect example is release of information binding. Yeah. So this is a
Yeah,
2-0.
kill your
This is
opponent's
a
climax, yeah.
yeah. Like that's an effect we've never seen anywhere else. There's also an event in Kill la Kill. I think it's in the Power Booster. That's a 2-0 event that lets you just bounce a character to hand. I think it is.
Yeah, the cheese trap.
Yeah, and that card I think has only been reprinted in JoJo. It's come up in very few sets. You could argue Buns for Luck is another example of this, right? No other set has Buns for Luck because Bushiroad realized immediately, oh, getting a stock swap for one stock is too powerful. in theory, this card does exist in another set with its first line of text. But also the fact that like none of us can remember another time where they've printed an effect like this could mean that it's just like it's an effect that's so old that they
It's
don't want to
defunct,
print it
yeah.
anymore. Obviously, it's a custom set. As long as the power balancing matters, we probably don't care. But this is something where, like, if we're talking in terms of Bushiroad, like, you might never see another card like this in real
Oh
life.
yeah, no, absolutely not. But
Some people would say that that's a reason to not print it, but like, it's a custom set. Testing
Nah.
required. We can decide how funny it is or how not funny
we
it
can
is.
print it because it has one of my favorite characters. Because I love
Sure,
Ava.
or whatever. It's your custom set. You choose the power.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
idea, right?
Yeah. So yeah, the flavor behind this is so there is a character named Ava, and this is when right after she becomes a witch, she takes the mantle of Ava Beatrice. So like the first thing she does is she sees like her younger sister and just kills her,
Brilliant.
and then
Oof.
revives her, and then kills her again, then revives her, and then kills her again, rinse and repeat until she gets bored of it.
She keeps killing her sister over and over again until she gets bored of it.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So you give something for Encore, you kill it off, and you bring it back, and you kill it again.
Yeah, and because it loses the effect,
I see.
like you can't triple this and
Yeah,
get
you
like
can't triple
almost
it.
this, but you can like double and have like another card to sack off. And because also, this is the weird thing, right? Like it's giving Encore on a standby combo, and a standby combo wants you to clear lanes anyway. So it's like it's basically like using that as a way to like for free payoff. But if you go into that like a standby on the turn, you like the first time you do that, oh, it gets awkward.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
this is probably where I come down on it. Like it's a very awkward card to get going. Like you're playing this because you're trying to make 8 standby in this set work, and God help you, I don't know if it does.
Uh,
all right, I'm gonna come at it from a slightly different angle. If this is the 4K version as written, where you saw character on attack to do the thing, I think it's less good. I think if this is just straight coterie, with it being 3500, I think this card is very good. Because either way, it's a card that's going to make you go +2, or it's a card that's going to guarantee that you hit a standby. And having played Adventure Time, like one of the coolest things that can do is you can go, okay, I'm gonna twin drive and I'm gonna hit a standby and I'm gonna call over my first lane that didn't do anything. And like Slime can do that. Just the fact that this gets you 2 checks to dig for a standby is what is making this insane. Like regardless of how impactful 8 standby is in this set, it's really not even a 2-card dig. Like usually you'd see these being like, okay, I can twin drive or I can choose my trigger, right? This is reveal top add, then trigger. Like this is potentially a 3-card dig for a standby. And again, the cards you're digging are going to hand. Even if it sacks a character, because you can save one of them with the skill, you could sack off your brainstorm and have it immediately come back, and then do the same thing in the other 2 lanes, sack off the first Beatrice you swung with, and then if you trigger a standby, you have an empty lane to swing into. Unless I'm not interpreting this correctly, I think this card might be very strong. This could just be my coterie bias speaking.
I mean, coterie bias is
I guess
correct. That's a strong combo. You're not
we're
wrong.
keeping even if we're keeping the sat character to do this for flavor, I still think it's like an A. It's an A something for sure because you're getting a 3-card dig for your standby in your first deck. That's super premium, I think, for a standby deck. I mean, what standby decks can you think of that have deck speed like this? Most of them are like I get on reverse salvage, or I get twin drive, or I get choose my trigger in another effect. Like no other level 1 standby combo can get this much deck speed, can it?
I can't think of a standby Maguro. You're right. I can't think of one. Usually, like most standby decks are getting their deck speed off of other stuff, and their combos are kind of like whatever. So the fact that
Mm-hmm.
this is like a plus in combo with deck speed on it is good for that.
Yeah.
I just don't have confidence that like all right. I was an 8 standby Hololive player, not as like a person who loves 8s like the standby trigger. Standby trigger triggers me, but like because of that experience, I don't know, fam. I just don't know. I don't think I could give it an A until somewhat we actually walk through and we see how 8 standby actually goes in this set. How it does what it's trying to do.
I mean, even if you're playing a bunch of the guys that are like level 0 on board, but they have all these busted effects, like I don't know. There's a Marcelin in here too, like a 10-5 cross turn with hand on core. You didn't print Toka, so thank you for not printing Toka. I made that mistake in my set, never doing that shit again. There's another 2/2 standby target that I was interested in, but you have a 10-5 with hand on core at least. I think that's good. What is your? I don't know.
Is it good enough? I don't know. I'm staying with what
I see. I'm starting to see what you're concerned about. By the way, JB, I'm starting to see it now.
Mm-hmm.
There is no level 3 standby combo, is there?
Nope. There are 2 standby combos. This is one of them. The other one we'll get to it. But it's not a level 3.
The other thing is that because this is a level 1 standby combo with deck speed, you could do the Guilty Gear thing and just have this be your level 1 combo and then just play into something.
Yeah.
Like, perfect example would be the Hachio Toya, right? You could try to stand by that in at level 2 and then immediately change it into your voice finisher.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think that really
And that
matters
card's
because the early
no,
play anyway.
but
Now what you do is you stand by out the 2/1 bunny, and then you get the fusion off at level 1.
That's also a potential line, yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing. We've talked about how busted that could be.
There was also another level 2 standby that you could bring off of this because both of the standby combos in the set are advantage combos rather than one being a finisher.
Yeah, it's very Hollow Ivy in that respect.
Yeah, just like instead of 0-1, it's 1 and 2, which does it changes how things work. What's your rating on this week?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Wait a minute, hold on.
The S++ tier because it has Beatrice in it.
That's fair.
And I love Beatrice. I love Ava a whole lot more, but like Beatrice is up there, and it makes me upset that Beatrice has like a whole lot more story relevance than normal Ava. But it is what it is. They're essentially the same character.
Did I rate this already?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I did this.
Yeah. Nay.
Are there any cards in here that can let you go hand to stock?
No.
Okay. Are there any cards that can ramp you stock?
Oh, absolutely.
Like without a climax, though.
Yes. There are 2. We're actually about to get to 1 in 2 slides.
This thing? Oh no, I'm not reading correctly. Okay, you know what? Yeah, JB, I think HSM might be busted, actually. I think it might be busted.
We'll talk about when we get there. Let's
we'll get there.
Battler in between. Invitation Battler. On play of any climax, gets 3k power till end of turn. And then...
Isn't this just Luna?
Not exactly, no. Well, okay, combo isn't either. Because the combo is, when this card attacks, if one final game is in your climax area, you may pay the cost, which is either top card or stock the waiting room, or send the climax away. You may give this card and one of your other characters following effect. There is no timing on it. I am assuming it is on reverse like Luna.
Yeah, it is supposed to be on reverse, yeah.
On reverse Maguro, which is equivalent to on reverse search trait. Or, wait, no, is Luna salvage trait?
Luna is salvage, I don't know if it's salvage trait or not, but I know it's salvage a thing or grab the event.
Usually if this is on reverse timing, it would be look at up to 4, add 1, and then give a character 2k.
No, because the thing about what this card is doing is it's giving you an alternative way to pay the cost, which is why the Luna effect isn't crazier. Because it has those 2 costs, it's a downgrade from like a normal 500 combo, right? Like and also because it's giving it.
Well, no, I thought it is a 500 combo because it's a level 0 on the stage and it has the combo and it's still a 5/5.
It is literally a 500 combo price wise. What I mean is like the combo that Luna gives itself and another character is more muted than it would otherwise be because of the conditions set up.
I see now.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, and she is on reverse salvage traded character, and the event name doesn't actually matter. Salvage traded character on reverse is not a full combo. On reverse check up to 4 also isn't really, except for the fact that it is check 4. I'm not actually sure if that math worked out. Apparently, I decided it was in my notes. Sure. I'll believe my notes that this is on budget rather than try to relitigate the math.
Yeah.
So, on budget, combo's probably fine.
Mhm.
It works out. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
That is a potentially like a good chunk of deck speed, and it's swinging at a power line, which probably getting the reverse. Whereas the Luna needed like actual outside support. This is like self-sufficient enough because like 7K is
Yeah.
decent
Yeah.
enough.
You need to do the Takoyaki Luna to give your other level 0 characters like 1k cross turn or whatever.
Yeah, and this set does even have that. Like if you wanted to go that
Yeah.
route, you
If
can.
you wanted to play the funny girls, yeah, you could.
You just get an even better ceiling on it because this card has better power on it. And it like versus like the salvage trait, this is like full on Maguro deck speed in 2 lanes. So you fire this like in 2 lanes. Like you don't necessarily need it to fire in all 3, but you fire it in 2 lanes, which gets you the equivalent of 4 Maguros.
Gross.
But you're having to pay a stock and sack your climax, which doesn't matter because the stock
Doesn't matter because it's a
But
stock
The
soul.
climax gets you a stock too, so effectively it's free for 2 lanes.
Yeah, it is free for 2 lanes.
Wait, what the wait? So
only
you can
really
actually
get
get
3
4 free look at 4 top
You can-
checks.
You could even get 5 if you're willing
You
to.
can get 5
to
if
pay a stock for the
If you-
5th one,
Yeah.
which is actually a thing people would probably do because
Huh.
climax play Maguro is this is also another iffy bit where it's like, can't you give Maguro just 2 lanes would be fine? Oh, like the need for
I don't know.
matters.
It's on a stock soul. That's what balances it.
But there are situations where being on a stock soul actually, like if this was on a book, for example, right? Having to stack the book would actually be a downside because you lose the continuous 1k1 soul. But because it's a stock soul, right? All your characters are still retaining that 1 soul, and you got this stock to fund one of these.
Yeah.
So like, I was gonna give this like a C plus, but this might actually be. This is like the most deck speedy card to ever deck speed out of deck speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially considering your
going
other level
through
1 combos
theories.
don't deck speed you.
He's
'Cause your
going
choice
through his
combo
theories.
Your choice combo just salvages. Your shot combo is only look at 3. This is looking at potentially 8 cards.
Yeah, 8 cards with 2
Like,
copies.
if you-
So it's like
If you really need to go through your deck, this is good. But
Yeah.
like, how good is that?
it clears like 19 cards with 2 copies, including
Yeah.
trigger checks. So like that is it would go pretty well with I hear there's a
This is the
trigger
next
called,
card, right?
a trigger called there's also the trigger called standby that would love to make use of that kind of deck speed.
Yeah.
It's like nuclear
Yeah.
speed and then
The good thing there's not a standby finisher in this set.
yeah, honestly, if there was like a Nito in this set, this would be freaking like turbo broken. As it is still like really
It's really good.
good. Like deceptively very good. Oh shit.
There might be a deck control deck that you play this in potentially.
Yeah.
Like I said before, with a deck control thing with the Obero. Obviously, you're not playing this with the Obero, but like, if you trigger for any reason, this just says, okay, nope, it's not there anymore. And you're like, you could be 8 in and decide, okay, do I want to go through my whole deck and plus and then free fresh, or do I want to just keep them there and trigger and cancel a bunch, right? You can make that decision with this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an A for me. I think it's close though. I'm gonna give it a B plus. I would like to test this card. All right. Reminder, just so everybody else knows, there is another red 2 soul combo, so you can play 8 stock souls as your climax lineup, but there's not really any benefit from doing that. But it's not like this. The other thing, this does have the Luna combo, but it's not a level 0, so it doesn't have all these really cheapo support cards. And also because he's not a level 0, he doesn't work with any of the other 7 stakes cards.
Yeah.
There's a couple cards that support the 7 stakes, so they're on board. This card can't benefit from any of those. So
the only one that could support him is the one that turns everything into level 0s, the Beelzebub.
And then that turns it on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's kind of like but it's not really a bad thing per
Yeah,
se.
because the trade-off is the Luna was doing that just as her gimmick, and she didn't get a power condition. Like she just sat it.
Yeah.
She just swung at 5,500.
Right, but
plus.
But the point was they were able to print a bunch of cards to help out the Luna cards later, and this
this one just
this
does its
set
own thing.
already has
it.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't. Yeah, it has no. There's nothing to support it. Yeah.
Yeah, this battler doesn't need that necessarily. Though, like.
No, it doesn't. 7K cross is probably big enough.
Yeah.
The second he puts on that cloak, he becomes competent.
Oh, right, yeah, because in the art where she's calling him incompetent, he doesn't have a cloak on.
Yeah, once he gains the magic trait, he becomes competent.
Feel that.
Oh,
that.
is that why he's
This is why
That's
this
why
is
the
a very good
finisher's
card.
like this. Oh,
That's
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, we'll get to it.
I like that. That's fun. All right.
All right.
That's good.
All
All right, this card's
Yeah.
nuts. So this is new name Virgilia. I was gonna spoil this earlier, but she's also treated as a Beatrice. Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
she is
So
not
she's
treated as a Beatrice.
well, she
'Cause this-
she looks like Beatrice, but her card text says she is not treated as Beatrice.
So Beatrice is a title. Like that's the
Yeah.
best way for me to like explain it.
Oh,
Like
right. She lost the title.
in this scene, this is right after silver-haired Beatrice, so Virgilia, and short hair with like short golden hair. Golden Witch Beatrice and Virgilia fought. Golden Witch Beatrice wins and says, "All right, I am no longer your student. I am taking your name." Wahaha.
Oh.
Virgilia shows
Oh, go
up
ahead.
like again later within the meta world outside of the game board and essentially takes Battler's side in like the witch games, and he's like, "Yeah, it's gonna get really confusing. I'm just gonna call you Virgilia from now on."
It's never
So-
mind that it's the exact same card art as the level 3 we saw earlier. They're totally
She-
different guys. Promise.
Yeah, she doesn't have many different poses.
Yeah, visual novel problems.
Yeah,
Boring.
you get
All
you get a
right.
It's a
different background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at least
I
visually
guess.
distinct enough because there are definitely cases with other sets, custom and otherwise, where it's like
Yeah,
these two cards look fucking identical to
yeah.
me.
That's why I can't really do a Higurashi set because there's just not enough visuals in the visual novel to like make it worth.
Yeah, you'd have to do it off the anime.
Which I refuse to because none of the animes are accurate.
Fair.
I would like to do a Zero Escape set, but the problem is there's not enough good art of the protagonists, and that's for real reasons. So this card's a 4,500, and it has on Climax play. You can pay 1 to look at 4 cards from top of your deck, choose a family or magic character, bring them, reveal it, add it to hand, put it in the waiting room. So a Magi, and then auto, when this card attacks, you may pay the cost, which is ditch a card from hand. If you do, perform trigger check twice. This is nutty. The fact that it's a 1-0 with an Amagi effect, I think you can keep it a rare. But given the context of your set in particular, I feel like this probably should be a double rare. And we'll get to it when we get to the level 2 standby combo. You're going to pay the stock for the Amagi effect when you play the Climax, but then you can immediately, like either off your Climax combo or off the card that you get from this, pay it out to get 2 more trigger checks and potentially get you more ways to get standbys. I just think that's bonkers. This is like so good. It's so good. You can have this just sit in your back row and be an Amagi, and then when you need to move it up to make room for a standby, you can just do that and then ditch 1 twin drive. God, this is so cracked.
It's weird when Mana Tea cards work. And this feels like a Mana
Oh,
Tea card
gosh.
to me, but a functional one. Because it's
You-
like you're not paying stock twice. You're like paying one of each resource, and they feed back into each other. Because the discard gives you stock, and the pay stock gives you hand.
And
So like,
Is there a 1-1? Yeah, there is a 1-1 standby target in this set. So JB, you know how like when I played a standby Hololive, I played only 2 of the Ayame and 2 of the Hashima Brainstorm, right?
right.
So like you want to get one of these 1-1s out on board as soon as you can, but like if you happen to trigger extra standbys, this is just a card you can incidentally get in your back row. And if it's in your back row at level 0, cool, you can use it as an Amagi, and then whenever you need to have space to play something else, like I said, you just get to move it up. Hajin was kind of the same way. You get her for free, and then if you need to brainstorm, you can just do that and then call her up or sack her over. This card is so good. Like, I'm not saying this is the only 1-0 standby target you would play, but like normally you'd play like 3 or 4 copies of your 1-1 standby target. And in this deck, you could play like a 2-2 split of this and your 1-1 standby target, along with your Eva Beatrice combo as your level 1 lineup, and be perfectly happy getting those, because those are all insane targets at level 0. It could just be that I'm reading this card and it's reading strong to me, but I think this is an A+, honestly.
Yeah.
It's close to an S. It's
Yeah.
close.
From the testing that I did do with this on the sim, it has performed extremely well. So yeah, A+ is a very accurate representation of it.
All right. Go with that.
I'm actually going to quickly, before we move... I mean, JB, do you have anything to say about this?
I said my one piece.
Okay, I'm actually going to go back to this magic spell Beatrice that we rated earlier, and I'm going to change this from a C+ to a B+. And I'll go into it later, but I think I underrated this card.
Yes.
Alrighty.
So I apologize for that. But there was a lot of thinking involved in this card, so I'm gonna claim that that's why. But we'll go back to it. Trust.
Yeah,
Trust.
we'll talk
there's,
about
there's
it.
some busted shit. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Yeah. My card. So, Witch of 1998, Angie Beatrice. Level 3/2, with a soul trigger, 95 power, 2 souls, 2 less climax early play. During your turn, if all your characters are traded, this gets plus 2k power, and on play, heal. It's a body. It's an early play healer.
There's another set that I think has this.
Uh-huh. It is
Oh
not
no, it's
uncommon.
Levi.
Okay,
Levi
crazy.
early play is 10-5 cross turn. This is 2k on turn, so it's a trade off for that. Nothing wrong with that. There's one thing wrong with it that I will say. Why do you have another freaking early play healer with 2 or less climaxes in your set?
That's honestly a great question.
There's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but why would you
Yeah.
ever play this over the other one that can change?
I guess if you're really
Because you don't,
using
if you
yellow,
don't want to, yeah, or if you just don't want to play the combo, and you just want a 11/5 body that's a healer, like you play the
Sure,
changer because it's a.
But
Like,
the
yeah,
changer is 11k, 11-5 cross turn.
the changer.
No,
its only effect is heal and
No,
chain.
no. You misunderstand me. So you can play
Oh,
the Hachio
playing the thing
changer
without
with 2 or
without the
less
combo.
climaxes. You can heal, and then immediately at the start of your climax phase, you can sack it off to change it with the combo from Waiting Room, which is just an 11-5 cross turn, which is stronger by 2k cross turn than this card.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind playing the extra deck slots,
Well, that's the trade-off.
that
yeah.
card is
Yeah,
just
maybe I
physically
might
better.
mind. Maybe I do mind.
So like,
Yeah, that is the trade-off.
and the Hachio changer is currently a common in your set, by the way, and it's better than the card that you have printed at single rare. So like,
That is
I don't know. It's not necessarily bad, but maybe either incentivize people to play this card by giving it, like, you could make this there's a new card in Ruby that's like this. It's like 4 more characters early play. He's 8/5, and then he gets plus 2500 in on-reverse memory kick.
Yeah.
During
There
your
is
turn.
a card that does that.
Okay, yeah. Well,
It's in blue,
that sucks,
so
then. Yeah. So then you've already got that too. Like, that's the only thing. Its card isn't bad. It's like a C+ or a B-, but like, I guess if you're tighter on slots, you could play this, but otherwise, there's just no downside to playing the Hachio, so I would just play that,
Konosuba Aqua did not need to go on a diet. This diet water goddess, and Aqua is fine the way she is.
It's not Diet Water Goddess. This is Shion, isn't it? This card's in my custom set as a double rare. It's the Daphne early play healer. That's why I was like, I'm pretty sure I play with this card, but why would I play this in this set? Like, you play it in Scooby-Doo because it's the only stock healer the set has. This has like 3. So like, I don't know. No, again, not bad, but I don't think I'd ever play it.
Yeah, moving on.
Yeah.
All right.
More Eva Beatrice. This is Coronation.
Yes.
Eva Beatrice. If you have 2 more family magic characters, she gets 1k, and she is she's a Cheery that swings at 20. That is 2500 cross turn. Which is like it's Cheery.
Yeah.
People like Cheeries.
What actually gets me angry is that 7 Deadly Sins has that first line of text, except that instead of it's 2 or more, it's if all of your characters are Britannia, which is if all your characters are Britannia, which is universal. Yeah, and it's actually 1k power and a level also. So he gets to be 2500 power and +1 level for no other like downside. But it's the Gauther.
Oh, because it's 1k base and it gets 1500 on a level.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right.
No. It's not 1k base. Oh no, you're right. It is 1k power. No. Sorry, you're right. It's 1k power, and it gains 1500 on a level. Okay, yeah. So you're right. Yeah.
So it is like strictly better in a sense, but
the point is, like, you have this at uncommon, so I'm actually not mad that this is the way it's statted. Like, this is how I expect Chiori's or Fukazero's to be statted, like when Bushi prints them. Either 2k vanillas or just like random incidental 500 power effects like this that can just give them a slight upside. Like, if they start making them any stronger than this, you might have to start putting it at single rare. And even then, like, I've had this discussion before, but this card gets printed all over the place. It was a common in Dragon Maid at 2k power.
Oh, yeah.
Now
it
in Chainsaw Man,
Yep.
Yeah, in Chainsaw Man and Ayakashi both, it's also a rare again. So it just can be anywhere, depending on how the set needs it. So yeah, it's fine. You probably played 1 or 2 of this in any deck that's in this set because you have so many good events to get for. All right, cool.
There's legitimately a deck you would probably actually like desperately want to be playing this card in.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder what that could
be.
We'll get there soon.
All right, so this is Pulling Pranks Beatrice, and this is This is not the short-haired Beatrice. It's a different Beatrice.
This is curly hair.
This is Beatrice from ReZero Beatrice.
In the timeline, this is technically the third version of Beatrice.
Yeah, she does. Unironically, she does look the closest to the ReZero
ReZero.
Beatrice that I was thinking. Yeah, because she's got the curly pigtails up the side.
I think she has more than that Beatrice does.
Yeah. Oh no, she does. Yeah.
She's like overkill of the drill hair. She is a full bowl of rotini pasta.
Yeah.
So anyway, when her battle opponent becomes reversed, you can put her into memory, and then if you do during your next draw phase, you can choose a Pulling Pranks Beatrice, which is this card. In your memory, put it on emphasis on your stage. So it is a time machine. That's 500 power per expanded. And then you can it's a card from hand and put it in a waiting room, salvage a family or magic character. So it is a Drem Ram, it's a helmet, Kanata, it's one of these stack salvage type effects. I think it's cool that you have this on a time machine. I don't know that I'd ever play this, but like if you decide that you want to play this as your plussing zero, it's really cool that it has this just other upside of being like, okay, cool, I can either attack again or I can just trade myself off for a stronger character.
Or this could be like a one of, like a filter piece.
Right,
and just incidentally also be a plussing zero.
The other cool thing is if your opponent's playing like Neon Cat or any cards like that, if this is the only card you can field turn one going second, this can just run away and make it so that they can't deny your sack salvage later.
Yeah.
Because it's just in your memory. So that's a cool upside.
This Beatrice's, like, her power is she essentially has portals. So like she can make herself and other objects disappear. And like that's how she like trolls people essentially.
This card is just beautiful to me.
I see two very beautiful things on this card art.
Time Machine Helmet. It's Time Machine and Helmet together. Like, fuck me, dog. Why would I? This card was why I was so down on the shuffle searching before. Because like, why the fuck would I play that when I could play this? That gets me whatever the fuck I want, and it's a time machine. Like, brother. In a set where you can actually get the power lines on their bigger shit down, so this isn't like a thing, like a problem at a later level. Like you could be like doing the thing that Dress Up Darling and then I stole from them directly, which is like, you could have like lands of this like doing shit at level 1. You could have this like with your fucking Magaro combo passing it around, and also it's memory compression. Just pass.
Or you like play the cards that make your opponent's cards weaker. That's also,
that's how you have to
pay
set it up.
Pay 3 stock on the level 0 bunny.
You know,
if you have
this,
to, but
this card is
climaxed out. Like I don't think you even need to go that far.
This card is this card's a straight Beatrice, right? It's not an Anja Beatrice, and it's not an Eva.
No,
Beatrice,
it is a straight Beatrice. Yes,
it is.
So you can grab it off of the tile.
So the bastard child Yasu can actually search this.
Yeah.
So if you
use the searcher to get your helmet.
Yeah.
Well, it searches your plussing card that is also your helmet.
Right. Yeah, so like you could. Like if you play 4 of this Beatrice and 4 of the Yasu, for example, right? If you're going first, you could be like, okay, I play Yasu, I attack direct for 2, and then your opponent swings back and kills it, right? But then you have 7 functional copies of that card in your deck to just go and swing back into your opponent next turn, and then get like. I don't think Time Machine is that creative and effective as a plussing 0, but this deck has the tools to actually make it like a feasible option if you just, I don't know, didn't want to play the Chaser for some reason.
Yeah, plussing 0 Time Machine isn't maybe as crazy. Plussing level 1, though, kind of cracked.
Yeah, I don't know.
This doesn't get as cracked as those as the card I'm talking about. That Gojo is wild, and Spyro has complaints about it. This is like perfect. I just love the design space. Yeah.
I think this is good design space. This could arguably be a single rare, I think, given what else is in the set. But like again, the problem is you have Gil Thunder in here. Like if you're not gonna play that, then this is an option you can try with the
This is your budget plussing 0.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like this is like if you bought like if this is the real set, and you bought 4 boxes, you pulled 4 of this, pull 4 of the Yasu, boom, you're set to go. Like you got everything
17 Gorillion of the Beelzebub.
To
make this even bigger.
Exactly. Yeah. This, and I don't know if I would play it, but like this is a well-designed card that definitely has a place in the set.
Bravo.
All right, do you mind if I read the standby combo when we get to it?
Oh, sure.
Or JB, I guess. JB, do you mind if I read that?
Well,
Yeah, it'll be fine. We
Yeah, we got
go
these.
ahead,
We
have
got
fun.
these things first. Like you
Yeah,
can
we
read
got
these.
these
I'm just trying to.
things.
So JB, you can do Fur, and I'll do Zapar.
Okay, sure. Love demon Fur. Love does not envy, does not boast. Why are they quoting the Bible at me? If you have another love demon Zapar in your center stage, this card gets 3,500 power and whatever salvage ditch. So
No,
filter.
Hambo effect, right?
Yeah.
Hambo filter. Okay.
And also on play, you can pay a stock to grab a copy of Zapar from your deck.
And then Love Demon Zapar. Love is generous. Love is merciful. If you have another Love Demon Fur in your center stage, this gains 3/5
Holy
power.
moly.
The following ability. On attack, a Crush effect. Top check 2, 1 on top, 1 on grave. And then on play, pay 1. Search your deck for Fur. Put on the stage.
Yo.
This is like level 1 advantage engine cats instead of level 0 damage engine cats.
Just so I'm clear, these are 7K cross turn, correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
All right. So
yeah.
So if you have the Zapar, you get to pay 1 to get the Fur. She attacks, you choose your trigger, so you dump 1 card, which means you have a target for the Fur.
For your Fur,
when she reverses her opponent. So regardless of your deck state, you can just always get choose the trigger and a filter, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That was the design process, because it's the 2 cards from Azure Lane.
Right, the other stuff.
The other stuff that I don't remember the name of.
Yeah, I don't either.
But it's like one of them's like on attack, pump something 1k, and it's when it becomes reverse ditch a card zombie effect. So like they don't really benefit each other super well. So it's like, how do I make these effects benefit each other better? And like this was like all right, these are kind of like mostly independent, but they have better synergy than whatever Azure Lane had.
For sure. JB, I'm gonna ask you the burning question. Are these statted correctly?
Yeah, no, what? Now that you raised the question.
Oh no.
So another, as we learned from the cat's bullshit, specific name in center stage combines to be a 4 times power condition. One of them may get 500. The Crush may be 500 too much power. It may need. I think it needs to be 3k and the effect
okay.
because conditions. Alternatively, you give the on attack if all of your characters are magic or family trait, or you need 2 or more characters. You could just throw a 2x condition on it.
Yeah, just throw a fake condition and make it. Yeah, I would rather do that.
Because usually when you see these, they like to print 2 or more character on that effect, and then they're willing to stick that on a level 0 at that point. It's fine. Beyond that, though, the other one's fine. Because I'm pretty sure on reverse salvage ditch is that the Hambo effect is 500.
It is, yeah.
So yeah, they're fine.
Yep.
That spawn effect is like a 1k spawn effect.
I was just making sure, because it's like a 1k spawn and then 1k. I can't believe it's a times 4 condition.
They super value having the specific name. It's just that when you have that spawn condition, or the cat spawn condition, which is a lot more expensive. Pitch trait is more expensive, but it is less so because the 1-for-1 trade is 500 power. The thing that you want needs that on board anyway, and it's always worth doing. You make it easy to find the thing, and you just basically have a free 4x condition, which is the part of custom algebra where it's are you willing to pull the trigger on it? Should you pull the trigger on it? These cards just go so hard as offlaners. In my head, I was there is a world where you do this in a set. Maybe probably not this set. There's enough level 1 stuff to do that you want to have a full board of your level 1 combo. There is a world though where you print these 2 as uncommons, I guess. Maybe even at one of them a higher rarity, one of them lower, just depending on which effect you value higher. And then that is the level 1 game plan of a deck in that set, and they got a level 0 combo and finisher.
So the idea behind this specific setup is that mentioned before that there's no finisher standby combo. So literally the next card is the other standby combo. If you wanted to run the level 2 and you needed a level 1 game, what do you do? This was kind of an option I thought of.
Yeah.
Just have something to do at level 1.
Yeah.
What's frustrating to me is like your standby level 1 is so good, and the Virgilia is so good that like I don't know why you wouldn't just
Yeah.
do that. But this is also like again, those cards are rares. If you're just looking to
Yeah.
throw something together with uncommons, these are perfectly fine.
And there's probably some other deck where it's just like having incidental level ones like this helps.
Yeah,
I just don't know
it's not
why.
like you need to play a lot of them either. You can just play like 2 of each and be fine.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they search each other. It's like, yeah, also because there's going to be games where like you just don't get it, right? Like there's going to be games where it's like, okay, I've tried and I'm fucked on climaxes or fucked on getting copies of my combo,
Yeah.
but I have one copy of one of these.
Of one of them, and that gets me a free body.
It gets me a turn of advantage that I wouldn't have gotten
Yeah.
otherwise. It's like it does the
Yep.
job.
I think I'm just gonna get them. I mean, the hard thing is like
In context, yeah. Like
I think just straight B for me is how I
Yeah.
feel.
that works. Also, this is one of those perfect cards where if you get them overlap.
Yes, I was gonna mention that. That's actually fantastic. Great work on that.
Yeah. It doesn't 100% line up. I mean, if you lift this one up a little bit,
Yeah, it's
because of the
just a matter of like getting the pixels and
getting
shit
it
lined
right.
up perfectly. But yeah,
Yeah, they're
like
always
one of them's,
together. So
One of them's like slightly taller than the other or whatever. Yeah.
To find the truth, Anja Beatrice. She's 2/1 with 1 soul, and she has continuous. If you have 2 or more other family or magic characters, this card gets 5,000 power and +1 soul. So she does sit at 10k cross turn with 2 soul. No hand on core, no save effect. Climax combo at the end of her battle, if you have the standby Leap of Faith in your climax area and 2 or more other magic or family characters, and there is no character facing this card or character facing this card is reversed, choose a character in your waiting room, return it to hand. So Fever Condition on reverse salvage. Now we did talk about earlier, this is just another advantage combo in the standby deck. And so I had asked earlier if there was any way for this deck to recur stock or get extra stock. And it does. It has the Virgilia. I want to spoil a couple things just so people have full context for what I'm about to describe. So Slide 83 has
Like,
a 2/2 10/5 cross turn hand on core.
oh, that's something wrong with that card. That should
So
not have
this
the
is
furniture trait.
that's
this is
funny.
a card that can like sit big cross turn and just be a standby target, right? And then we've got Slide 94, I think it is. Yeah. This is Gertrude. She's a pay 4 ditch character. If you use her backup, you can choose one of your opponent's characters and rest it. This is the Rudius tap counter from Mishoku. Exact
It's
same.
the Konosuba movie tap counter.
Yeah. What's it called? Overlord
Megabeam's
has this card
mom.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, most sets that have tap counter have
It's
probably
this
have
profile.
but
It is this, yeah. The reason I wanted to bring this up, like the reason that 8 Standby Hololive was broken, despite not having a level 2 or 3 standby combo. Well, I guess technically the Choco is this level 2 combo, but it's not like a killing combo. It's just a card that can like stand the Choco and help it give power, right? So the reason that deck still saw play is because Hololive has a whole entourage of like level 3 cards that can deal damage, right? You've got the Luna, the Oz key, other cards that have like incidental off finisher effects that don't have to be placed from hand. So while we were talking about the 2 soul combo earlier, I was kind of scrolling through here and I realized that there's this leon in yellow
Leon.
that's a Musashi, right? But that effect is only when she's placed from hand. And then there's another card in blue that is a restander, which would be pretty good, but that card only activates when it's played from hand.
classic.
And there's another card that in blue as well. That's pay 2 to I think it's burn 3.
No,
Or is
he is a shuffle back 3. He's a
to shuffle back
decompression.
3, right? But that card forces you to pay out all the cards from your stock. So you would only probably want to field one of him. So the question I had when I was looking through here was, does this set have any card that would benefit from being standbyed in? And really the only card was the magic spell Beatrice, the on attack pay 4 and give one of your characters the cancel burn effect. But in theory, because you have the Virgilia to ditch hand to get you stock, and you have the Eva Beatrice combo to get you super plus at level 1, you not only have a pretty feasible way to make the magic spell Beatrice actually work as a viable off finisher, you also can very, very easily fund your tap counter in the same way that Mishoku could. Like in 8-stem by Mishoku, it was actually a potential downside to play it because then you would have less stock for your Ghislaine combos level 3. But in this, because you're getting the extra stock off your Virgilia, and you want to be playing Virgilia anyway because she's in a Magi, she would let you potentially pay out standbys that you triggered on previous turns, right? Like this card, there's just no downside to playing her. It just gets you more incentive to play a tap counter. And standby is already a deck that's going to try to tank up at level 2. Tap counter just gives you more ways to make that happen. Now, I don't think it'll be broken in the same way that Mishoku was broken, but I think it's worth talking about because now that I've seen it, this magic spell Beatrice actually being a way that you could like incentivize you to play the 8 standby and have this be a payoff to it, I think is actually a pretty solid. Like, having said that, it also has a pretty good incidental on play effect. Where if you're playing this like suite of standby cards, maybe you would play 4 of this Beatrice and just hope that you clock it at some point at level 3. So then you can actually, if you have to play it from hand, now you can ditch card to get the other copy from your clock, and then play a third lane like a Musashi or a Restander. And like that Restander with this effect to have it like when damage is canceled, burn the same amount, and then get to do it again. It's a lot of stock, but like you're getting 1 to 2 of these magic spell Beatrices for free if you stand by them in. That could potentially be a pretty high payoff. Like that's like Azure Lane is doing that in some of their standby decks, where if you're paying like 6 standby 2 door with the Bismarck topping with Kronstadt, there is one build of Azure Lane that's like 6 standby 2 door, and that's the win con where you're standbying in your Bismarck to give your Kronstadt the 2 cancel, or I guess it's Mocha when they attack.
Yeah.
It's kind of doing the same thing. So like I was gonna kind of like rule 8 standby out as a thing to doing this stuff, but because of all those reasons, there's actually a legitimate reason to try doing it. And this card sits at 10k cross turn. You've got the thing to go with it to make it 10-5 and do other things. You can use this to get you the tap counter, since your Virgilios are going to be sending all of your extra stuff to stock to get the off the twin drive. The fact that it's just a potential thing you can do is where I would have like wrote this off, except for those things in other colors that make this potentially, again, I don't think it's broken, but I think it's potentially very, very good.
It's a playable. Yeah, it's very playable. Solid, if you would say.
I definitely did not take notes with blue cards in mind when I was writing up my red card reviews. So that probably does contribute. I did note that the other guy, the one dude, was your standby target.
Hideyoshi.
But, yeah, and then I saw tap counter. I was like, but Hololives is like good for that. But it's like actually like this is like, yeah, fair enough. The thing that I really stuck out to me was just the fact that this has the
Go Lewis.
Go Lewis.
So yeah, you have a 10k 2 soul that you can standby out at level 1 and just hang out. It is a good body on standby, and then it just happens to be a plus in combo. And it solves the problem that standby has, which is like you need to get a 2/2 or like have some other damage plan. Otherwise, you're probably gonna feel it unless you can just cram that many fucking soul triggers in your deck, which is not normal. But yeah, if the fact that standby is actually playable, at least, and that this also gets to be like a damage plus that you're playing probably a number of, or maybe not 4, but at least some number of. Very good.
Yep. I think in a vacuum it's probably a B-, but I'm gonna just give it a straight B because of the implication.
Yeah.
Resolves. See you again. Have a nice day.
All right. Next up is
I'm kind of sad that I got that
funny.
whole spiel because the next card is legitimately my favorite card in this whole set, and I don't get to talk about it. Somebody else can read this.
I appreciate your sacrifice. So.
Alrighty. So Revival Beatrice, level 3, 2 cost, soul trigger, 10,000, flavor text. Let me do my best Beatrice impression.
Congratulations! And I'm fine! My
She has some really good English.
Fantastic.
When this card is placed on the stage by the effect of Revival Beatrice, deal 1 damage to your opponent 10 times. And Memory, pay 3, discard 2 traded characters from your hand, and put 10 Witch's Epitaph from your memory into your waiting room. If you're level 3 or higher and this card is in your waiting room, you may pay the cost. If you do, put all characters into the waiting room from both fields and put this on your center stage in any position.
Yeah. So you're telling me you can play 10 copies of this event
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it has to be in memory?
Yep.
That sounds pretty broken to me.
I mean, if you can generate 13 well, I mean, it's not super hard in this set to generate 13 stock
No,
throughout
it
the
is
course of the
not.
entire game. Like, the issue would be having to pay it out and then fish you have to pay out the stock where you trigger the event and then grab the event to then play it.
We should probably actually go into the event before we
I agree.
talk
Yeah.
about the. So
We can have our slam poetry.
yeah, so this was the card that made this look like, oh, this is like a 100 card set. No, this is a 110 card set, and there is 10 copies of this card with this art and 10 different flavor texts.
Flavor text.
Which we referenced in yellow a bit. Here's the full litany of fear as performed by me.
On the first twilight, offer the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices. On the second twilight, those who remain shall tear apart the 2 who are close. On the third twilight, those who remain shall praise my noble name. On the fourth twilight, gouge the head and kill. On the fifth twilight, gouge the chest and kill. On the sixth twilight, gouge the stomach and kill. On the seventh twilight, gouge the knee and kill. On the eighth twilight, gouge the leg and kill. On the ninth twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall remain alive. On the 10th twilight, the journey shall end, and you shall reach the capital where the gold dwells.
The effect text on this card.
Word.
You can put up to 10 cards of the same card name as this card in your deck. Anyway, it's a counter, 1/1 counter. You put it in your memory when you use it, and then you choose one of your family magic characters. That character gets X power till end of turn. X is the number of copies of the event in your memory times 1,000. So this is directly the Endless 8 event from Haruhi.
Technically, strictly better because you could run 2 more copies of it.
Let's get into that.
Endless trash.
Yeah, it's this event by itself. We should rate the event just by itself, just because the contrasted ratings is going to be funny, I think. This card by itself is so bad. God, I get why they did it, and we'll talk about why Haruhi gets it maybe a little easier, and why it justifies the card that you have in Sled 42. This is like, after enough turns, it's like, oh, it's a 4K backup for 1 stock. It's a 5K backup for 1 stock. It's like, cool.
It's a 10K backup for 1 stock.
Yeah, it's like, it gets to a point, this is an insane level of backup. On the other hand, God help you for having to pay out the stock and finding excuses to back up random ass shit to do this.
And
so
to put 10 and to waste 10 card slots in your deck to run all 10 of them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. So Haruhi at least has a way to put 2 of the 8 events into memory, right?
It is salvage from waiting room. Never mind. Forget.
And the other thing is, you say it like it's a slight against it. You're paying 13 stock overall for this Beatrice because you're paying 1 stock for each event, plus pay 3 ditch 2 to summon her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a stock more and then the extra pitches.
Here's what I'll say. 1/1 level 1 counter. Vanilla power is 2,500 power. So in order for this to get to that, you just need 2 of this in memory for that to pay off.
Yeah.
Because it sends itself to memory and then checks for how many copies you have.
Yep.
Okay, so on the one hand, this potentially, if you're going to use it over the course of the game multiple times, can have a higher ceiling than a regular 2,500 counter, which you would never play. That card is like an F-. You'd never play a 1-cost level 1 counter. So this not being a character also means it's less searchable, but you can play 10 copies of it in your deck. So you pretty much always have this, and you can always have this to play it. You can always pay the stock because it's only 1 stock. You can always play it. It doesn't check for anything. You just have to choose one of your characters in battle, and it gets plus power.
Side note: it does not have to be a character in battle. It can be any character.
So you can't just play it on turn and just
Yeah.
pump power if you need to. Okay, that's actually a really good upside then,
Yeah.
because you can just like use this aggressively as well. It's not like Mobility Gear version 2 where you
Nah.
can only use it in battle to move a character or save a character.
Yeah, you can guarantee
But,
first with this. That's true.
Yeah.
I think
So
I'm the
I
same.
just want to cut like you're saying it's a D minus. I don't think it's quite that bad, but it is deck slots. The reason that I am talking a lot about this card is because this is a card that I've been trying to put in my next custom set. But in my custom set, I was going to play 12 copies of this. And because getting 12 copies of a 1/1 event into memory is cancer, I was trying to print cards in my set that would like potentially get them there for free, right? JB and Blank, we had like a whole hour and a half long conversation about why that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think it might be more than an hour and a half. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
That might have been
we
like
didn't
a
record it
4-hour
or anything because
podcast.
it was all contextual for the set I was working on. But the point is, like, with cards that go to memory, particularly cards you can play 10 copies of, I think JB will agree with me here. They basically have to be this bad for you to warrant the actual payoff. Because getting to chuck 10 clean cards to your memory over the course of a game is very good. It's just free compression. The fact that this is like you have to pay 1 for each one means it's not free compression. You have to find each copy with your Fuka Zero or whatever, or just draw into them.
You could get these off of your Beatrice combo because that grabs
Yes,
events.
that's true. You could do that.
Oh yeah.
But like, point is, from my experience of talking with people and working this out, you have to be careful when you print cards like this. But given that this is already in Haruhi as a much more reasonable win con, and like it doesn't see any play and never really has, like, I don't think it's that scary. So now basically I'm just gonna give the event like a straight D. I don't think it's that bad. And obviously I'm biased because I want to put this into my set. I want to work with this. But I think we should talk about the finisher. The revival of Beatrice.
It's kind of fun.
It's funny.
You basically just get to kill your opponent with this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also get to basically kill your opponent with the Haruhi one.
Yeah, because it's deal 8 damage. Yeah, like both of them are just kind of like kills. The difference being obviously
The board wipe.
Yeah, the board wipe helps.
Yeah.
The board wipe definitely helps.
Oh, that's
the
right.
board wipe
because
is
you
the
get to-
flavor
you get to-
effect.
So you get to wipe their board before this hits the board, which means if you're against Shauna, you can just get rid of the 1/1 guy that stops auto burn, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what this doesn't out though? It doesn't out Memory Snow.
Yeah, because that's not on field.
That's a memory condition, yep.
F.
No, that just means memory.
You lose to Memory Snow.
That gives memory snow purpose in the meta when this becomes like an 8 standby shell.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Because that now
8.
like this is the like if you're gonna do a thing in 8 standby, no other set
God.
does. You do this.
You're right.
Because just
8 standby would be, like 8 standby would be the most optimal way to play the event. So
yeah. Because if the level 1 can grab it, like
bro, that's cringe.
It really is that simple.
Well, and then if you have enough of the events in memory, you can back up enough to keep your level 1s alive to do it next turn.
All right, so let's just think about this for a second. I'm going first. I play the time machine turn 1. I swing, I get 1 stock. JB, you're my opponent. You triple me with cards. You kill my time machine. You're probably dealing me like 4 damage on average back, right?
Probably.
Okay, and I clocked and drew. That puts me at 0-5. I draw for turn. I have 1 stock. I play some shitters. I clock and draw. I play some shitters. I swing back to you. I put you to 1-0. You play your 1s. You put me to like 1-3 or 1-4. I lose my board, and now I have 4 stock.
And that's
so at level
assuming
1,
none of those are the epitaph.
No, exactly, yeah. And so best case scenario, I can play like 3 of these at level 1, but because they're not searching me cards or giving me hand filter, I still have to have 2 to 3 of my standby combo to go looking for more of this. So let's say I don't play these. Let's say I use my hand filter to get me my standby combo. I'm going to go like +2 off the
You have
Anji.
2 Avas and a Virgilia.
I'm going to have to play 3 of this on my opponent's turn. Next turn, JB is going to put me to 2 something. I'm spending all my stock to either find these events or play these events. And because you have nothing like the Haruhi set, at least can put 2 of these in for free. Your set doesn't have anything that can do that.
I was wrong
right?
about that. The
He was
Haruhi
wrong.
doesn't. It just
It
salvages
salvages
them.
too.
It's not free.
Oh,
And I did this when we
okay.
talked about this last time too. I made the exact same mistake and then corrected myself, but it was at a very late at night when we did that. So yeah, no.
Right. So
like,
you're still having to play some amount of like level 2 or level 3 cards that can just top check X to get these.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you can stall long enough to make it work, but the problem is in standby, you'd want to be paying that stock to tap counter. And that's like 5 stock. Would you rather tap counter one of your opponent's lands or play 5 copies of this?
Okay, so what you're asking me is, would I rather stop them from killing me, or would I rather kill them?
Yeah, but are you actually killing them with all 10 of these?
Yes,
because it's
I'm
all or
built
nothing.
different.
That's the best part, right? It is it's like the fucking like the wildest hedge, but also it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick privilege concept, right?
The wildest
that works
hedge.
with 8 standby. So like, it is so weird. It's goofy, but what I love about what this card has done is that it took the Haruhi card that was just like, oh, you get a little bit easier time of it because you go +2 hand because you get 2 copies of the backup from your waiting room, so they can just play it on that turn, into like 2 of your lands, like as it in main phase and then be set. Whereas this doesn't do that, but in exchange, it is that on crack and then also Hachima. The one complaint is that this character art doesn't have a swimsuit because it is 2 characters in swimsuits they've glued together. So that is a small minus, but
Another funny thing, very minor, you don't have to filter for this card because you can only activate it from the graveyard.
Yeah. Yeah, it just it summons itself. It's only Hachima and the Haruhi.
It's only Hachima and Haruhi.
It is that entire concept glued into this one package, which is insane. And there's no way of knowing if this is like really on spec. The fact that you actually put a cost on it, whereas the Haruhi was just like, yeah, send it to memory. Pay 2 to summon this, send it to memory. You're good.
Yeah. But it's 13 stock overall. It's 13 stock overall. That's very flavorful, you know.
Yeah, unlucky 13, and also like having to sacrifice some people because you always have to sacrifice people.
Well, the idea of this one is, it's like that. It's like after the 10th twilight, none shall be left alive, and I will revive. So like after you complete the 10 twilights, everyone dies, and Beatrice is revived.
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Hold on, let me actually find the video. I listen to this on like an almost daily basis because like in the game, how it works is it's like super late into like one of the nights. And the 4 cousins, Battler, Jessica, George, and Maria, they are like cooped up in like the cousins' room. And one by one, they're getting like called out by Kyrie, who is saying, hey, Kenzo is trying to decide which one of y'all is going to be the next successor of the Ushiromiya family. And one by one, they get called out until it's only Battler. And then Battler gets the phone call. And then on the other end, it's just this funny song and Beatrice just screaming in poor English. Say, congratulations. I'm fine.
It's like you're like
thank you."
Telegram or whatever. You're singing Telegram. You got a singing Telegram from Beatrice?
Yes.
God. I have no idea how to evaluate this. When I was playing my custom set with this event, I guess I can pull back the curtain a little bit. The one I printed of this was just when it's put into memory by whatever, you could choose a character in waiting room and put it to stock. So like when you played the event, you would give a character 3K, and then if it was put into memory by a card effect, you would put it to stock. So like obviously I got rid of that second line of text immediately because like getting to put it to memory for free is definitely not allowed. And even with it being a static like 3K to a character and put it to memory, I just printed too many cards in my set originally that could get this to memory. The way I had it pay off was the finisher was a pay 3 ditch 1. Your opponent reveals the top X cards of their deck, where X is the amount of copies of the event in memory. and then shuffles, and then they take X damage from the top of the deck into their clock, where X is the amount of climaxes they revealed. So like if you had all 12 events in memory, your opponent would reveal top 12, and then for each climax they would clock themselves 1. Just kind of the same way Drago Buster Millen works. But like the thing with events like this is if there's more than one card in the set that can put it to memory for free, you just get like a critical mass of cards. I think the most that I was able to get in memory over the course of a game without even really trying was 11. And so I was able to deal 3 uncancelable damage in 1 lane with this. So like that's the kind of stuff you got to be careful of with these kind of events. Is like if you're gonna put them into memory, you have to have the payoff be something not quite as strong as this, or just make sure it's balanced. Like that's kind of where I'm like going with this. Like obviously pulling at the curtain, that's going to be like if that gets done this year, it'll make it onto the channel. If not, then it'll be discussed at some point. But there's still a lot of testing that needs to be involved. I want there to be more between us on Discord. We need to find a way to get 1/1 memory events that you can play X copies of to balance them, because right now he's the only thing we've got to work off of. That's like 10 years old almost. So like we want to make sure that we can get this to be more modern, but also have it be playable. Have it be a win con you can actually play to, because this is all or nothing.
Yeah.
If you get all 10, cool, you basically kill them. But the way that I have mine is
it's variable.
You're either gonna have a bad Drago Buster, or if you get 8 or more
really
events in
good
memory, you're
Drago
gonna have a
Buster.
higher potentially payoff. But you have to actually get 8 or more over the course of the game for it to actually matter. So that's kind of where like we got to test things out and balance things. As somebody who has been trying to do this, like mad props to you, Weeb, for putting this in your set. I love it. It's great. I hope that I can brew with it at some point. But yeah, Lord knows what the rating on this is going to be.
As you can
Doo-doo
see,
fart.
we have done our best.
Yeah.
We have put notes.
It's perfect.
Yare. So this is Witch of Certainty, Lambda Delta. It's a 3/2 with 2 soul. Auto on play. You can ditch 1, heal to stock, and then on play you can pay 1 if you do. Your opponent puts all their stock into their waiting room, then puts the same number of cards from top deck to stock. So, JB, you want to say it?
We've made up for the fact that 2 level 3s didn't have level 3 effects by putting 2 level 3 effects on a single card and over budgeting it.
Yep.
Yippee.
This is 10k when it would be 9.5 if those weren't both level 3 effects. The easiest fix is a thing that unfortunately kind of breaks the intention, which is obviously that you turn the pay 1 of the stock swap into a pitch that also heals you. Like obviously like the synergy is intentional, but the tragic thing is it just is not allowed. Bushiroad would never, because they're both level 3 effects and you can't have more than one.
Bushi-sama hates me.
So what you would have to do is either make this stupidly small, or you change the stock swap to like a discard, and instead of another stock healer, this is a draw 2 pitch 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ditch 2 traded characters, I believe, would also balance this.
I think it's just generic trait from RF. If you wanted to keep the power line, I think you're right. There would need to be pitch 2.
Yeah,
but you could also drop it by 500, or maybe it's not 500.
This card would never exist in a regular Bushiroad math because they don't do effects like these. The other thing is, like, if this were real because it heals, this would probably be a double rare.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm citing Thanos for this because in Marvel, Thanos is a on-play stock swap and he has an off-finisher effect. That's about as good as they print stock swaps, as they have off-finisher effects. They don't usually have other effects. Like, this is like, my God.
She's silly.
There's just no downside. She pays for her own. She funds her own cost.
Yeah.
No, no, not allowed.
Oh man.
Meanwhile, the Shea, that has the on-play effect of on-play all characters in your opponent's center stage get minus 2k till end of turn, and that's its level 3 effect, which is it's funny because it's a rabbit in another set that's also doing minus power. Yeah, no, that's the same.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah, but yeah, another classic case. We've had a few of these on the show. Where it's just like it is too good for this world. If it existed, it would be cracked. It's cracked as hell. Like
JB
you'd always
is
find a way to jam red to get copies of it.
JB one card Fumio, is that a level 3 effect?
One.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Oh, well, okay, wait. Okay, so one card Fumio is a level 3 effect, but pay cost to Fumio is not a level 3 effect.
Gadget, you're not suggesting this be both a stock swap and a Fumi on a single card, are you?
I mean, hey, you put it in Hololive, man. You set
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I put Free Fresh and Fumi onto one card.
Oh, is that what this is?
Yeah, the font is not a fucking both of those because
Oh,
they already
whoops.
have Matsuri and Kiara, right?
Disregard everything.
Okay, never mind.
Dear God, man.
Yeah, maybe.
You would
No,
have crucified me
maybe.
harder for that. Yeah, that's why.
No,
That's why
yeah.
the Fano was like fine. It was like, all right, it's crazy that you're giving stock swap and Fumio, despite the fact they are in two separate colors that you need to invest in. Like,
Well,
the trade-offs are there.
the file that I'm looking at has it be your opponent chooses a climax or turns other stock, but you must have changed it since then.
No,
Yeah.
it is a Fumio. It's just that it's not a stock swap and Fumio on the same card. It's Fumio and
Oh,
Free
I'm
Fresh
sorry.
on
You're
one
right.
card.
I misread that. You know what? You should. I don't know.
Here's the thing, right? There's a bunch of level 3 effects in the universe. I'm pretty sure I already mentioned this on this one, but like Steph went through and found all the ones that exist in English. Just about. So like,
You know what? Let's just give it the S and move on. I'm trying to be
Yeah.
like constructive criticism here, but like I really don't like.
The constructive criticism is be better.
the constructive criticism is you're right. This set stock swap is good for this set to have. It just can't also be a healer.
Yeah.
There are ways to get it where it could be, but
Yeah.
not with this price. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of healers,
Yeah.
Okay.
reunion, Battlelord Beatrice, level 3, 2 stock, 2 cost, and it's a 10-5 on attack. If you have 2 stock, pay 2 stock, heal 1, and then CX combo with Running Crash, which is a stock soul is placed in your climax area. If this is in your center stage, burn 1.
So you know how like your argument for the Battler combo being good was that it's on a 2 soul? Why is this card so mid when it's on a stock soul?
I mean, it's not that mid, is it?
I would argue it very much is. It's not like it's a card you can early play. It's a 3-2. It's just a 3-2 guy that has
Well,
these
okay.
effects.
Look, given the amount of like garbage we've seen so far, I like that this is finally a card that actually reasonably sits at where an uncommon level 3 should be.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. It is.
It's not a straight heal on play. It's a pay 2 on attack heal, which means it has to live cross turn. Its climax combo isn't giving it power, which is a legitimate downside. So it has to actually have a good support to help it when it's lane.
So you play standby stock soul.
No, I'm not even saying that. I mean, yeah,
Honestly,
it's a potential
kind
thing
of.
you could do with it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you definitely get the stock in this set to be able to pay for the
well,
heal.
you're gonna get the stock for one of these because you get the stock off of the stock soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're at least resolving one of these, and the burn one's at least free. You don't have to pay for that.
Yeah, it's on placement. So like instead of on attack, it just has to be in center stage.
I almost wish this was a pay 2 on attack to burn 1, and on attack with a climax combo heal 1. Like I almost wish this was switched.
Oh yeah, just so it could be a generic burn.
Because then it would actually be a potential payoff for standby. You'd have a pay 2 that's on attack burn 1 as something else to go with the other one. I don't think that's fair. I don't want 8 standby to have more tools, but this is potentially another tool in standby that you can use to heal if you need it. It's just another way to pay out extra stock at level 2. JB, this card is not as bad as I think we're making it out to be. Like,
here's the thing, right? In a vacuum, sure, it's fine. That's what I'm saying. It's mid. It is a 3 out of 5 in a mid competition. It is a card, like, you needed a double soul finisher to fill out your lineup, so you could have an 8 stock soul deck and have it work. You put cards, like, effects together that work perfectly fine, but aren't arranged in a way that make it, like, super optimal or whatever. So, like,
it's
you bought 3 booster packs.
Yeah,
it's like the Mare combo in Overlord Volume 2, right? You play Mare because it's a Fumio at level 3. You're rarely playing the combo, but if you do, then cool, you get the arbitrary burn 4 or whatever. This is a card that you would stick in your deck if you wanted extra healers, but you just probably don't play the combo.
Yeah,
it's just a 10-5 that has this other effect, you know.
And even then, like, Weiss is not a game where on attack pay 2 heal unless it's like mitigated in a weird way, and also a re-standard, like the freaking quintuplets combo. That's the point where on attack, pay cost to heal feels like, maybe it's doing something. And even then, I don't know about that. That's still debatable of that card, because, Weiss is like, either you find ways to stupidly shut down people with like insane neg souls and tap counters and shit, or you kill them. Like, trying to like thread a line of like doing both just kind of like leaves you mid on both. So you kind of like have to, you want to like pick a side, and when you don't pick a side,
Yeah,
just kind of ends up it's mid. You would not. I
You're
don't see a
probably
world where you
right.
play
Yeah.
this overending unless you want to play 8 stock soul, which is fine. If you want to just play that lineup, it's okay. But you
I
would
think
never pick this as like a meta anything for sure.
I think what would be funny is if you made this a 9/5 cross turn and gave it an extra soul.
Oh yeah, there you go. Actually,
Aw.
Because then you could side for one with the climax combo and then burn for one as well.
But then you know what you don't want the pay to effect, because you want to be able to use the Beatrice that would let you pay for, cancel burn for.
That's true too.
And also cancel burn for is kind of an awkward number.
Look, the 4 is
Yeah.
going to stick eventually. Been playing Weiss for a long time, and that is the one takeaway from this game. The 4 is going to stick eventually.
If
Yeah.
you can get more than one of the cancels, sure. But if you're only doing like 4 instances of damage total,
I don't know. I think there's probably a bunch of other top ends. I have to remember too. Like for what this is, it's probably actually D plus. For what it isn't bad. But like I have
It's
to remember,
cute.
this is the set that's got the freaking Maria in it as well.
How do you
Like, why
solve
would
a
you
problem like
ever?
Maria?
Why
What?
would you ever do this?
Yeah, wait, hold on. Because also, God, you're reminding me that also, right, we talked about the fact this fucking set has a rest counter in a set with that
Yep.
crazy neg soul in it. Dear God, this
Yep.
set would just be walled that DEK.
Yeah. Why would you try to
Ugh.
play this combo when you could just get the featherine in early with the changer? I don't know. It's definitely not bad, but like it's in the context of this set, it's probably worse than it is in a vacuum.
Even in a
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Even in a vacuum, I'm not on side, but it's
Mhm.
fine. Different stroke for different folks.
Mm-hmm.
Unrelated to that metaphor.
That-
All right, JB, this
Oh,
is
no.
yours.
It's related when I'm looking at this one.
You know what? Fair enough. This is
Yeah,
Fickle
she's cute.
Beatrice. Place on stage from hand. Check top 2. Choose up to 2 of them to put back on top of your deck in an order. Put the rest in your winning room. And when a climax is placed on stage from hand, you can bounce it to give a character 2k. Hello, climax back row. And also, this card is like probably you would play a decent number of this in that deck too. On a play,
Yeah, 1 or 2 for sure.
the more expensive like Mio effect, the reason she's like a 500 card that isn't a double time drop salvage or drop search in the grand scheme of things isn't that expensive. The expensive part is the fact that top effect is 1500 and for a reason, and you put it in standby. God, this is like
this is Mio. I thought this was top 2 rearrange.
No.
This is way better than that.
Why
Yeah,
is
there's
this a common?
there's no way this is a common,
Why
dude.
the fuck is this a common? It's
Ain't
She
no
doesn't
way.
care about rarity, so why should I?
because there's at least like, all right, we say like
Every
like to
card
meme that-
can't be a rare.
Well, here's the fun. That's right, because you have to like either balance profiles to make your set a reasonably balanced set, or you gotta break it up across multiple sets. Like the reason that you have like some of these sets wildly off curve is because for like a Fate of Rage, Bushi prints like a few cards at weird rarities, or the whole set is like a power creep pile, right? In most sets, the theory at least is that rarity does guide how ham you go on like balancing powers or optimizing shit together. The fact that you have this effect on a card that is recyclable just by having it park in back row and play climax, I can see them in a much earlier set than we have now, printing this at common and oh sorry, this card busted some shit. And also I guess there is that problem where Bushiro does keep doing this with combos. Like they did it with the Brainstormer in Azure Lane, which they did it with the Oski in Hololive 2. Like they have a tendency to make these like level 0 bounce backs when their combo's insane, and this is just like, oh, it's a non-combo version of that. It's a non-combo version of a card that is just to shit in standby.
Hmm.
And with that existing, it's like another fucking feather in the cap of the deck that I said was mid.
Yeah. I shared the Shuri from Marvel Set 1 in the Discord. That card is 2,000 power. It has a second line of text where you can pop it back when you play a climax to give a character 2k. But its first effect is when it's played, you get to look at the top card of your deck and either leave it there or put it to waiting room. So it's effectively the same card, but that card looks at just one card. This card looks at two, and you get to decide if you're keeping either or both of them. It is correctly budgeted, but I think given that like how powerful the Mocha for 2 is on a 0, I think this has to be way up there. I mean, it's not like the Polka where you're getting a 1-card
Yeah.
scry and give a character 1k. It's not like the Mishoku one where you're giving 1k and top 2 rearrange. This is just a straight pump by 2k. But like as somebody who has played against the new 8 standby Marvel deck with the Spider-Man level 0 combo, I'm telling you right now, I think Captain Marvel level 1 combo with the Shuri here is better because you get to look at one card and like pick your trigger. It's just so much better. This is just this is so good. You might play this in like an 8 choice deck just because you can Mocha yourself. It's not as powerful as Mio, but I think it's probably like an A minus. And obviously it's insane in standby. And it's this is not a common. This is at least a rare, if not a double rare.
This was like one of like 2
Mhm.
cards that was like on site. Like, why the fuck? And I understand why. There's a
Yeah, I did not read this properly. And like, look, Bushiroad probably will print this card someday. They're already heading in that direction, but like, not as a common. Surely not. God help us if this is a common in some future set.
with can't side attack and a soul trigger. Anyway,
Absolutely. Hololive set 3.
God, just
Oh,
make it
please.
make
We
it a
already have.
Biju.
You know they will too, because
Yeah.
Polka's already choice restricted with Luna, so they need something else. No.
You use the level 1 polka. The set 1 polka Amagi, not Amagi, but the pop back from set 1.
Yeah, like the excuse that
Oh
they don't need to print another one because we have pop back at home. Pop back at home.
no!
Different
Like
Polka.
just print this card, lol. Bushi, please.
Yeah,
Come
with
out.
Beatrice on it.
Just have
Yeah,
Biju.
just ban Mio, print this card, and put Hololive trade on it. Boom. Problem solved.
Ban
Print exactly
Hololive, print this exact set.
That's good.
this is Inner Thoughts Eva, not Eva Beatrice, just Eva.
Yep, just Ava.
Because either she hasn't got her title yet or she already lost it.
So if we go to 89, that is like the Ava, like as everyone sees her. That is the one on that character is essentially her inner monologue.
So she has an inner Sakura from like old Naruto.
Yeah. So like in episode 3, like it focuses a lot about Ava's character. So
All right.
like a lot of it's like from her perspective, and this is like kind of like the voices in her head. She's schizo.
Got it. This is the good one, and the other one's like the bad one. Or whatever.
Quite the opposite. The Inner Thoughts Ava is the Ava Beatrice, kind of.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Okay.
This is the one that goes on the murder.
Yeah. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. We'll go with that. It's the real answer is a lot more complicated, but this is a gross oversimplification because of time reasons.
Just play the games, everybody.
Yeah, just spend 200 plus hours reading.
Yeah, they are good games. Or so I'm told. Okay, so this card says at the beginning of your climax phase, you give one of your family or magic characters 500 power, and then you can act rest this card to choose one of your characters and give it 1500. I mean, this card's boring. You might play it. I don't know. It's like it's like a deep. Is it?
Yeah, because like it's
Doesn't need to be 15.
Yeah, because both these are trait restricted.
Fenoy.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it can be 500 and have a soul trigger. Sure. Why not?
Woohoo!
It actually could. Yeah. But like, I mean, it is 2k power in one lane. In a set where that
it is.
You have a decent amount of reverse stuff. It's like you play this if you low rarity budget deck. It supports the murders.
Yeah, I get the crying anime girl, as foretold in the scrolls.
Hooray!
At the number sobbing Beatrice, level 0, 1k power. Start your number of cards in your hand is 5 or more. It's a 3k. And start your opponent's attack phase. If all your characters are family or magic, put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. Level 2 or lower character. It gains bounce back when frontal attacked.
Cool.
Wait a minute, where if like obviously it's capitalized in a way that makes me think it's like a JP translation of a card that exists somewhere.
It's not Dragon Maid, but like it's similar to that card.
Yeah, because the Dragon Maid only had the pop back effect.
Oh dear
Yeah.
God, this is a real thing. I have to remember if Paru brought it up when we were talking about. He printed a card that's also like this. That was like, this conditional. When this
Yeah.
is front attacked, you may return. This is a fucking level 0. Why would you ever give your opponent the opportunity to front attack? To
Well,
pass
no,
back?
it's
When you just side this thing, it's like.
Okay, cool. But then you have a 3K that's always there.
yeah. Then I plussed.
Alright,
Yep.
You know what? Fair.
No matter what, I plus. So you might as well.
Yeah.
This card's like fine, but this is the most boring plussing 0 I've seen so far. And I think for that, I'm gonna give her the D- she deserves.
Oh man.
Giving her the D.
Why would I not just play the time machine? That's the helmet.
Because this one's crying. And crying anime girls are cute.
I did say in my notes, it's trying to be a plussing 0. It may be decent at that. And yeah, immediately as I try to make a counter, yes, it would be a decent. It's just you're not right.
This is a card where like if you only bought one box,
and
you might play 4 of this.
because
but
you
like
have like one of each climax in your deck.
Yeah.
Like that
It's your TD upgrade card that for a set that doesn't have a TD.
Yeah, I have tried to build decks out of like a box or two, and it's like no.
God, you know what I just realized? Beatrice waifu must be a freaking pain in the ass to build in this set. There's technically like 5 or 6 different Beatrices, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so someone has to put down the legislation on what Beatrices go with, or they just decide every
So
Beatrice.
do you want me to tell you which characters are physically the same people?
No, we don't need to go into that. We don't need to
Because
litigate
if
this
you want to
here.
play Beatrice waifu, you can play
Point
more
is-
than just Beatrice.
The point is,
True.
if in a true waifu set, you couldn't play both Pulling Pranks Beatrice and this Sobbing Beatrice in the same set. So like you would have to pick between one or the other as your plussing 0, is all I'm saying. Because they are different Beatrices.
Yeah, try it.
They are different characters entirely, essentially.
Exactly.
God. Wow. All right. We still have more Beatrice.
This
We
is
sure
Virgilia.
This
This is
not even.
post,
Yeah.
This is post witch battle.
God, that face.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
the
I like
only
this card.
It's like the only other face she has.
On play,
Yeah.
pitch, trait, draw. On attack, give a character 1500. A trade character 1500.
This card is similar to a card in Hololive that I really like.
Oh,
There's a Lammy
yeah, the set 2
in
Lammy.
the Premium Booster, but that
Oh.
card is on play. That card's on play. Reveal top if it's a character. Add to hand, then ditch, and then on attack give a character 1K. This card is on play. Ditch character to draw, and then it has this other effect. I don't know if it's over spec. It possibly might be.
Well, the first effect's 500, right? On play, ditch to draw. Because I know the second effect is worth 1K because Goblin Slayer Sword Maiden has its 1/5 on attack, choose a traded character, give it
That's
15,
right.
and then it also
Yeah.
has the if nothing's arrested, you can pay 1 to arrest it, which is a 500 effect.
Yeah.
Wow,
So the
that's insane.
I'm pretty sure because like it's like the the double filter, like the cowgirl, right? It's like the double filter,
Yeah.
right?
Because reveal top of its character should be 1K to merit.
Yeah, this is one of those effects that like I always have to like remind myself, and I did make a note that it's off budget, so I'm pretty sure it's fine. It's just that I don't think I would play this.
I might play one. I occasionally play that Lammy card in Hololive decks if I need an extra like 1 card deck speed.
I mean, like I run like 3 of like the trial deck Toka 0.
Actually, you know what?
That's,
You
like,
do.
the
You
double
would play
filter.
this card. You would 100% play this card if you're playing the event. You would want this to be another way you could potentially draw into the event.
Oh god, you're right. All right, there's a build where this is.
Yeah,
like,
I
your
think
true-
this has a place.
All right,
You'd only play like 1 or 2 of it, but it is a card that you would play potentially.
that's fair. Playable. All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Moving on.
All right, this is another run of a on play. You can mill 2. This card gets 1,000 power for each character you milled. Okay, and then on play, pay 1, ditch 1. You can pay the cost if you do. Choose a character in your waiting room, return it to hand, give a character 1K. So drop salvage. Does this set have a Rico?
No.
Okay. So you're probably incentivized to play at least one of this.
You see the level 0 mill 3 drop salvage Choco be played, and most of that's for the mill. Like I also just like having the drop salvage around. This is like
Yeah.
if Choco didn't mill as much but juiced herself up when she came in and milled you. Admittedly, it's also mandatory, whereas Choco's isn't.
Optional.
But you can pump himself, can't you?
No, it's choose other character on the
Uh,
drops. You pump himself off the mill, but you choose another
Yeah.
character off the salvage.
These runs at 4K. Fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you know if you need to play this.
Yeah.
I think there's so many level 1 combos in this that salvage already that like you would maybe only play this in 8 mag. Or like if you're playing
Yeah.
the Mag X level 1 combo.
Or if like I don't know. I feel like for the same reason that the is there an on-play mill 3 that we already looked at?
No.
You might run this in standby
No.
if you're not trying to do
Yeah.
the event build, or maybe even.
Actually, you 100% would run this in standby because your level 1 combo is top checking you. So you'd want other ways to hit your waiting room. Yeah. Oh wait, no, hold on. No, you don't need to run this in standby because you have the mocha.
Unlucky.
Well, no, well that too, but
Well,
like
that
the
too,
mocha
yeah.
to just on play, look at 2, send 2.
Right.
Like that's enough deck speed right there.
Yeah, you good. All right. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, the
tried.
card's fine, but like no, there's I don't know. You like I said, you know if you need to play it, but you probably don't.
Alright. Proposal, Battler, and Beatrice. 2K, level 0, on play, reveal top card of your deck. If it's level 1 or higher, choose one of your opponent's level 1 or lower characters, and that card gets -1 level until end of turn. When this reverses something, if you have another traded character, choose a level 1 or lower character in your opponent's stage and put it into their waiting room. Opponent's center stage, might be.
Level 0 or lower. But
Yeah.
ultimately,
Yeah.
you can get a level 1 with that top effect. Yeah, this card is cool.
I mean, it is cool, but every time PGH reviews one of these cards in their videos, they always say, "Yup, this card's cool. It has potential," and then like they never do anything. Mishoku has the second effect on
Oh,
this.
the second effect. Okay.
The on reverse, kill another character if you
I
have
think
another character.
some AOT decks ran it.
Yeah, maybe AOT did. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought I was thinking of Guilty Gear, but you're right. It is AOT. I was thinking of.
Yeah, the blue.
Yeah,
But
Mr.
like,
AOT over here didn't know
well,
about
because I
AOT
never played the
cards.
card. I have it in my extra cards, but I've never needed to sleeve it because AOT can just clear things at 0 with the freaking Armin Runner. You know, you don't need to kill your opponent's characters. Like Mishoku didn't need this because they were playing standby, and they were just going to play a card at level 1 that would kill things anyway. Like it's cool that this can like has the extra utility of being able to potentially sync level 1 characters. But like I said, Bushiroad has printed this exact profile a bunch of not this exact profile, but like
The effect.
on reverse kill a character effect at a bunch of sets, and it just doesn't do anything. It's like a clean cut, right? Like clean cuts get printed and they never do anything. This card is another like plussing 0 technically in the sense that it's a offensively slanted plussing 0. But like these never see play in the same way that most clean cuts never see play right now. If you're playing a plussing 0, you want it to do something like either plus itself or live cross turn.
Well, this doesn't.
Because this
isn't a plussing 0 because it doesn't net you any card advantage.
It's offensively slanted. The card advantage you're
Yeah.
getting is you're getting to kill the opponent's character immediately.
Yeah.
So
I
your
guess,
character
but
doesn't swing into it.
yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's like the worst kind of plussing 0. And even then, I would sooner play the time machine over this because at least the time machine can like psych itself off later. This is like whatever.
So the interesting bit of technology here is that normally this effect, that first effect, doesn't have the level 1 or lower character limit on it. You can just hit anything with that normally in the cards that I found in JP with it. So you added that condition on it to make it a 500 power thing, meaning this thing actually has power to get this other effect off. And in this set, there's enough power pump rolling around that is 100% a thing you could do. If there was, again, I think we mentioned this earlier, if there was a card that benefited directly from direct attacking specifically, and as it is, like I do like this effect. I think it's the combination of the technology is cute. I've seen other versions of this profile, that second effect, that actually do have places in sets. I don't remember where we came down on it in Dress Up Darling or the other places that it showed. Maybe it wasn't Dress Up Darling. There's definitely been a review or two. This effect has shown up and it's been like, actually, this is because of some other thing about it. This is cool. This is cool.
I know that I didn't put this in Scooby-Doo because I didn't. This effect doesn't do anything, for me. JB, I think you pointed out something that is good, and that is that this is like a different version of the profile that is trying to do something different to make it more usable, which is definitely a good thing. But I still think you don't play this.
It kills Kishibe's.
Yeah.
It gets around
It
Kishibe's.
forces any if
it
you're playing
can
against
kill
standby,
Kishibe. It doesn't
forces them
necessarily.
to not. It essentially says if you're playing a standby deck and you're playing against Umineko, you can't put your 1/1s in the front row at level 0.
Yeah.
Or just as long as you have a small body, because they can just kill it. And then even if you hand encore it, they could put something that could swing over their 7/5 and kill it again.
It is a lot easier to have to do one lane of really big than 2 lanes of really big, and playing this into Hololive standby, where you can unless you really see enough standby triggers early, there's absolutely going to be cases where you're just running out level 0 shitters because you need to, and you have utility effects that you need to get off. There's definitely a place for this. Matchups, it matters.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, it's a meta call card.
Yeah, and to have that in common. And just have a thing get common. If you're, again, messing around with your buddies, this is just a card that you throw at them and they're like, what the fuck, man? Why do you have 4 of this? Wait, see. I opened 1 box and I got 5 of them.
5.
Alright. Next card.
Yippee.
This man again.
He's silly.
Alright, this is easy.
This is your turn.
Renove. It's a 1/0 2500 with 2 brainstorms. One of them is pay 1 rest self for a check 3 brainstorm. The other effect is pay 1, rest 2 of your characters, flip 4, deal X damage, X number of climax on a 1/0, which is what?
Now hear me out. Macross has a very similar card. The evil, I don't remember her name because I'm currently watching the show.
I've seen nothing of it, so you can just.
But it's a 1/0, and it's either a salvage brainstormer or it's the pay 2 rest 2 burn brainstormer.
And is that card 3,500?
It is 4K.
My god, so that burn brainstorm is 500 power?
That's a little mind-blowing, actually.
Yeah.
That brainstorm is 500 power. It could rest self and be 1k. That is fascinating. Alright, good to know. So
and Macros is a universal trait. There's no trait shenanigans with that card. It's just a regular straight card.
So this card I think then is 500 under spec because Cosmo Brainstorm's 2k.
Yeah.
Holy
Sounds
shit.
good.
Alright, cool.
Wow.
Well, I hate this. I hate that this is a brainstorm you can just have. I hate that you can pay 2 rest 3 characters, burn dig 8 cards, burn X, and maybe get some hand back.
Yeah.
And
you know what's crazy about that? It's actually more insane than that. If I'm with you, JB. If this was a pay 1 rest self or pay 2 rest self, I'd be happier with it. You know what's funny about this card is so you can pay 1 rest 2 twice, like JB said, and then burn X twice, right? So you have 2 chances to burn them for up to 4, right? You know how the revival Beatrice puts all players' characters into their waiting rooms. You
There's
can
another card
you can just
do
do that.
too.
You can just rest everything on your board before you send all 10 events and then summon the revival Beatrice. So you have 2 chances to burn them for X before you ping them 10 times.
If
you just happen to have all this stuff.
Also, if you don't want to play an entire package, you could also play a really funny blue event on slide 97.
Oh yeah, the clock event. That's cool too, because that card lets you sack your board to deal 1, 2, and then 3. So this is also a potential payoff. Bro, the implications.
Also.
If y'all want to be really mad, the original version of this card was a spammable top check 3 brainstormer.
Honestly, I think here's the thing. That's the top part is not the problem to me. And the fact that it's a double brainstormer isn't even a problem with me. I just don't like that Bushi has encouraged this design space of a rest 2, pay 1 rest 2, deal X brainstormer as a thing you could just have around.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Unicorn costs 3 stock. And I get
it's 3 stock in a hand, isn't it?
3 stock in a hand, yep.
It's still investment for things. Whereas this is just pretty casually. Also, this has a change effect in it. There's a combo like early play changing. You could do that
Is
for
there?
free.
Yeah.
Unicorn does ping 1, but it also heals. Like normally on attack, pay 2 ditch 1 is pay 2 burn 1 is about where that is. So like this is like pay 1 resting 2, and you're like not even guaranteed to burn 1. You can whiff with this effect, but like
Well, you could burn 2
even
or 3.
so, like you
And
can
they-
potentially hit them for like 3 or 4. Yeah,
and
that's
they're like, and it's like they're like, oh yeah, this is a 500 brainstorm we can print on level 1s. What the fuck? Why?
remember when Grisaya was like pay 1, don't even rest, and then just brainstorm for 4, and then for every climax you would pump one of your characters plus 1 soul.
That's fine. Yeah, no, Disgaea is fine. That's the age of Aquarius that like shit can be in. It'd be weird. And also, it's Disgaea.
Yeah.
And Disgaea is not a reputable set by any means. So many cards off. All right. Well, yeah. This card is. Hello. What? Oh no. I hit the.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Is it an A? Is it really an A?
there is enough extra synergies in this set. I think it is.
I mean, yeah, you could play this as a 1-of in standby just for the Cosmo effect, but like,
There is enough extra bonus bullshit this synergizes with, and it's a fucking damage brainstorm that you could just do. Like, this. Also in a set with the fucking Nexel shit, my god! So you just have, like, this and the 2-1 in your back row that you're resting every turn. The fucking lay down the law as your damage makeup for the fact that your combo is loopable, but it's just like a Nexel. Holy shit.
yeah, and the Maria is not dealing damage, so you actually have extra ping. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You have extra ping on top of that.
It makes up for that. It's like,
I don't know if it's an A plus, but like it's pretty good. Okay, we haven't officially analyzed the clock event, but like I like that event, and the fact that this synergizes with it, I think is gonna make it an A for me. I don't know how good it is, but like I do like it.
all right.
Good job, Weeb. Oh, you know what
Yay.
also? So because Macros is a premium booster, every card in the set is the same rarity technically, which means like this card probably shouldn't be a common, but we actually have no frame of reference for what rarity it should be.
Half of these cards shouldn't be the rarities that they are. You're just gonna have to live with it at this point.
So this probably should be like an uncommon or a rare, but like
And there's
we're
nothing-
splitting hairs at this point.
There's also
Yeah.
nothing stopping you from just putting more cards in the set at uncommon and rare. You can just do that.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah,
have them marked
that's true.
appropriately, and then be like, yeah, there's just you just have to high roll for your really good cards, because it's a thing Bushy would do. Anyway,
Double rare plus. That's what I need to do.
don't remind me.
Well, JB has his own opinion on double rare plus. I like double rare plus, but I know JB does not. This
You
is a
get to
1-0.
read Zen Damada.
Yeah, that's no good. That's no goddamn. See, now he's cool because he has the cape.
Yeah.
So this is catchphrase battler. When he becomes reversed, if his opponent's level 1 or lower, you can reverse that card. Thank God it's not a cost bomb. It's actually a level bomb, which makes this somewhat usable as red. And then it has Clock Encore. This is the card we were talking about earlier that can like clock characters to the bottom of your clock. This has the implication of like having, like JB said earlier, it has the Miko Sakura Encore. So if you need to, you can just repeatedly call over this card and clock yourself up to whatever level you want to be at. I don't know, JB, did you have more to say about this?
So like I feel like I underrated this card because like I don't get what the fucking point is with the Neo Clock Encore thing. I understand it's a thing people are doing for reasons. You know, God help them. You know, they live their lives. I don't get it. If that's a thing that you're doing, then this card does that and does it pretty well.
So back in the day, you definitely did that in Fate, like OG, like Fate Stay Night, like set Heaven's Feel set 1. You would definitely do that because it didn't have a Ricky, I don't think. So if you got level locked, you could just like clock encore yourself because you had the Shiro that gave everything clock encore.
Oh God, right? Okay.
And then for a little bit, for Love Live Superstar, you ran the Shiyoko Clock Encore promo to get yourself to 3-6 to do some stupid stuff.
Okay.
Yep. I remember that.
Why were people doing it in HoloLive as of like
so the reason people did it in HoloLive was because
Kanata.
If you played Kanata, that was all you were doing was just playing Kanata into whatever level 3 combo you were doing. So the idea was you would go to level 1 if you were at low clock at level 1, you might do some things at level 1, but if you were at high clock at level 1, like 1-4 or higher, you would call over the Miko 3 times just so you could go to level 2, slam 2 or 3 of those Kanata counters, and then immediately pop them back to play the Kanata from hand so you could start stock compressing. And then once you had those down, you had the counters to back them up. Your opponent couldn't deal with them. They weren't going to out them at level 1, and they're sitting at like 12-5 with the counter. If they have any assists, they're like 14k.
Okay, gotcha.
So you just got to do that sooner. And then once you had them out, you got 2 stock per copy. So then the next turn, you just got to go hog wild. You get to play a Suisei early play. You got to play another Kanata. You get to brainstorm a couple times. Maybe you'd play an Aqua Riki and then call over it to get some pluses that way. However, you were going to do it. And the Kanata is also healed on play. So if
you
you were
could
already at level 2, then you could just heal down to 2-0 either way. In this set, I don't think there's anything that you're going to benefit from
Nah,
unless
not
you're trying to
really.
play the Hachio Toya. Yeah. That's
Oh.
like the one card in the set that you'd probably try to play to because you would want to get this out as early as possible. But like, even then, it's not going to generate you stock. It's just going to be mocha-ing every turn. I don't know how sustainable that is, and it also doesn't heal in the same way that Kanata does. Actually, the
Change on play does, but the level 3
yeah, but
doesn't.
you're not consistently doing it with the combo or anything. There was some card in here I thought that got you stock with its combo, but I guess I was mistaken. So I don't know. It's like the one payoff is you would get to do the Hachio.
The choice level
But-
1, the Leon gets you stock.
Yeah, that I thought you had a level 2 or level 3 combo that did
Oh,
it, but
no.
no, it's not. So yeah, really, if you're trying to play to this Hachio, I guess you could do it that way. You could clock yourself to level 3 quick or level 2 quickly and play 2 or 3 of this, but that's not nearly as good as Kanata. So it's a cool implication that the set has. I think it's like here probably. I don't know. There's so many good red 1-0 cards in here and 1-1s. Like the card in 2 slides is like the 1-1 hand on core thing that you're still gonna have to consider playing if you are playing standby. So like I don't know where this falls on the level 1 tier list, but it's probably pretty low. Like it's not bad, but just where are you going to slot this in? And like JB said earlier, if you're trying, like, cool, if your opponent's level 1 or lower, you can reverse them. If you're trying to hate level 1 cards, you would just play this level 0 that can give one of your opponent's characters -1 level and then just kill it. And that card's a level 0, so it's more flexible to play. It's a well designed card in a set that's got a ton of other well designed cards in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Popcorn Addiction, Lambda Delta, 104K. When this battle opponent becomes reverse, if there's a climax in your climax area and you have another family or magic character in your center stage, stock charge a family or magic character from your grave into stock. And then when your other traded character attacks, it gains 1500 power till end of turn.
God damn it. This is like a rare. Why is this a common? Oh,
About
Lord.
this, they wouldn't have that trait condition on it if they decided to print this, because there isn't actually a budget difference between blind stock and like stock charge like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
But
Funny.
the other effect. Either someone
If it
looks
was-
this up or we stop talking about this. One of those two things is happening.
All right. So like this profile is very good. This is not a common. This is a rare at least. But like I don't know what deck you play this in. Maybe you play this in like the mag deck, and you like try to fix for 2 colors at level 1. I don't think there's any way you're fitting this in the standby. Even if you could, like it's another way to get you free stock, which is really cool. That also plays into your tap counter.
So what you play it in is you play it in the Epitaph deck.
Yeah, I guess so.
So you can get a free stock that is guaranteed not to be
Oh,
a event.
true. Yeah. You're right. Because the Virgilia, you're gonna twin drive, but you have a potential of stocking an event. But this is just always a character from waiting room. That's actually a very very sick design. I like that. B plus, I guess. It's very big.
Yeah.
If it gets to swing at 7K with climax, 8K with climax, then this card's very good.
You just don't need this in this set. You just don't. You already have like other things that are trying to be your off lanes or your standby cards. Like
That's a
you
good
just
point, actually.
and
Yeah.
because this card is listed a common, it's just like it would be easier to just go and find an actual common profile 1-0 and put it on this. Yeah, the card is has a place in the set, it's fine. But like you don't, it just doesn't need to be here.
Yeah, you already have level 2 killer too.
It just doesn't add where it is.
Jesus Christ, there's a lot of funny cards in blue. All right, well,
We'll get there. Next up.
so this is a 1/1 with
One
hand on
hand
four.
on.
It's
You can
Ayame.
skip it.
Cool.
Ayame.
It's you know
I
what
love
you
Ayame.
you know if you need to play it
It's
is good.
Maple.
Yep. Weeb, do you want to read the next card?
Sure.
Oh wait, no, hold on.
Wait, no, it'd be
Am I reading
you.
this?
Yeah, you're reading the next card.
Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, cool. The 2/1 battler, he'll challenge you to a devilishly twisted logic game. He has level assist, and he has pay 2 rest to choose one of the opponent's characters and bounce it. Nice. Damn. What card was I asking about that bounce characters? That was like 3 hours ago.
Probably one of the finishers. So like probably the
Oh yeah, I bet it was
the Battler
the
Beatrice.
battler and Beatrice. Yeah. Yeah, so if you have the extra stock, I guess this is a card you can play in standby. I mean, you'd play one of it in standby anyway since it's a level assist.
Place. Well, that's what you do. Yeah, you play a standby door. Bring this out on like your Ava turn.
Oh yeah, you're right. This is a door combo. Never mind.
And then you just have a level assist throughout the rest of the game. And then last turn.
Oh, but if this is in your clock, you can summon it for free with the magic spell Beatrice.
Could.
Ooh. And then you'd have stock to actually do the effect at level 3. Damn. It's a good thing this set doesn't have anything like Escanor, because this would be 100% a card that could like get in there with it.
Yeah, that's a good thing that it doesn't have that.
This card also combos with the Anja Beatrice level 2 standby combo, since that card can just swing into an open lane and then
Still
get the plus off it. Yeah, that's pretty good, guys. I'm gonna give it a B.
E for Battler.
B for Battler.
Why? What is the lore reason behind him being named Battler?
Why are you asking me?
He battles.
Are they stupid? Wait, no, they're not stupid. I'm sorry, they're incompetent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like all like the important characters' names are like Western names, like Kraus, Ava, George, Jessica.
Maybe it's not translated correctly.
They put emphasis on the A.
Okay.
So if you watch the video, Beatrice's phone call, I posted in the Discord, she says Battler.
All right. Well, I got no idea. You're the one who's played these games, not me.
Yeah. I just find it funny how like all these characters have like normal Western European names, and they're just like, oh, his name Battler.
Yeah, no, I like him.
He's
He's cool. But yeah, you're right.
Word.
Yeah.
Why is his name Battler? Yeah, good question.
My one note was that this could actually be like a 1/1 in theory. The fact that it's a 2/1 is probably just because it's a common rarity. Because Quince has a level 0 assist that has that act effect on it.
Wow.
Annoying.
So yeah.
Gotta love Quince.
It's like a 500 to assist a trait, so it's like, kind of the lowest common denominator of the profile. But this is like a common, and I think that probably actually was sitting in like the lower rarities too. But like actual proper level assist, it could still probably squeeze onto like a 1/1 with a soul trigger, be a 3K card, and still be at about the same spot because it's doing the same things.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving on. Last character.
Teleportation Demon, Gap. 2/1 soul
trigger. Wait a minute. Isn't this also a Beatrice?
Yes, this is. Yeah, she got a new name.
Yeah.
And also changed her race, essentially. Umineko is wild. On play, ditch a climax, put an opponent's character into memory, and at the start of the encore step, put it back on the previous position. And when it becomes reversed, if the battle opponent is higher than the opponent's level, put that character to memory.
This is the Bucciarati Gadachi, right?
Yes, except rather than bottom decking, it sends to memory.
Nice.
Remind me again, is the Bucciarati 5K?
I think it's 5K, but it's also a bottom deck Adachi.
Memory Adachi, I think, is actually equivalent.
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're equivalent. So the Bucciarati is 5/5.
So we're perfectly out of budget, and I was wrong in my notes, which is fine.
Hooray.
It's just apparently... laugh at this man.
So basically, you're telling me, so this is Gap,
Yes.
So if we're talking waifu, you've got Virgilla, Gap, you've got Anja Beatrice, you've got Eva Beatrice.
Nope. You've because Gap and Virgilia. So Gap is the personification of losing stuff, of being forgetful and losing things.
Okay.
Virgilia is personification of a character in blue.
My point is there's like 5
Possibly
different
Claire.
Beatrices, right?
Yeah, there's 5 different Beatrices. 3 of them are the same person. No. There are 5 different Beatrices. All of them are different people.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, cool.
And you even play
You know what else
Beatrice
And
waifu
some
then?
of these, and some of them don't even exist.
Yeah.
Like there's 3 Beatrices that do exist in the real world. There are characters named Beatrice that do not exist in the real world. There are
Right.
characters
Yeah.
who take the mantle of Beatrice who are exist in the same world but are not like the Beatrice, and then there are characters who are not named Beatrice who are Beatrice.
Now, I have another question. Is Eva Beatrice the same character as Maria?
No.
They just happen to have the same outfit
Maria's
and the
is a
same
little
staff.
different. Yes, well, the
And I guess their
staff
staff
is
is a little
the
bit different.
family crest of the one-winged eagle.
Oh, okay. Okay. But they just happen to have the same outfit
Yeah.
in these 2 arts that I'm looking at.
It's not exactly the
Of
same,
course.
but so here, let me see if I can find like Maria's witch outfit.
It's okay. You don't have to. I just was that there's I
Yeah.
happened to look at something. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Copy
Why?
image.
I went, why do they have the same hairstyle? And then I went, wait, they have the same dress too, and the same staff. And then I was like, are they this the same character again? But I guess they're not. I guess they're different. Because Maria is a chess piece. I remember that. Maria is just a chess piece, and Beatrice is a witch who's controlling all the chess pieces. So
Back to grading Rotini pasta hair girl
Yeah.
card.
all right, so I like Bucciarati, but I think it's really hard to justify playing 2 Onodachis in the current meta. So like, I think I'm with JB. I'm gonna give it a C minus.
Yeah, I might go even. I don't know. The fact that it's pitch climax and it's in a color that doesn't have.
You know what? That's
recyclable
true. Actually, I was about to say that. There's no
Yeah.
bar or pants in the set. You know what? Yeah,
There's
D
pants
plus
in the
for me.
set, yeah.
All right, yeah, Sam then.
But there's only 1 pants.
I lied, there were 2.
Well then.
However many are on the chart, right? Because
Yeah.
there's
All right,
one,
whatever.
There's like 1 book, 2 pants or something.
There's not a lot of good ways to recur climaxes. Like in JoJo, you could play like pants book or book bar or something, and like have ways to get a climax, so you could actually play the Adachi. But this is kind of like, whatever. It's not bad. It's like you know when you need to play it, but it's like slightly less
The real
playable.
reason you
It's
play
like,
this card is so you can remove a card off the field for
right? Yeah.
Weaver.
Yeah.
Or the
Like
waffle pie.
if you're playing choice, you'd probably rather slam the choice. If you're playing standby, you'd probably rather slam the standby. If you're playing door, I mean, I don't know, maybe you'd sack up door climax to play this, but like, I don't know. It's still a memory Adachi. It hardly moves a character. I've been told that memory is a better zone than clock or bottom deck anyway, so fair, you know.
Alright, speaking of
All
cards
right.
that are gone, last card, the Mysterious Letter, 2/2 effect, and it's the Nagato effect. Put all of your opponent's characters in their memory, put those characters on separate positions of your opponent's stage. We have turned it into an event. Not been done in the history of Weiss, but
Well,
Pioneer.
it's
So-
probably fine at this.
remember how I was talking earlier about like algebra, right? And how you can like take effects from different cards and stat them differently and help you figure out things. So that doesn't really work with events because events tend to be fractional or the way they cost them is slightly different. So for example, right? Buns for Luck is a 2/1 event that just says stock swap your opponent, right? The Machine God Maple level 3 combo says when she attacks, if you have the pants, you can costlessly stock swap your opponent.
No, she is a
Isn't she?
Icy Tail. She has they pay 1 stock swap.
Oh, you're right. What am I
The
thinking of?
Kurumi.
That stocks?
The Kurumi.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Kurumi from Data Lot does that. That's right.
That's one of its 3 things it does.
Yeah, and it costlessly does it. You have to have like another character, but like it's just costless. So if you think about that, right, Bushiroad used to at least budget that at 1 stock for the event. And then like you said, the Nagato, also the Suisei and Hololive has this effect where you can wipe your opponent's board and then call them all back. That effect is also budgeted at costless. So Climax combo usually takes off 2 to 2.5 of the cost, whether it be like 2 stock in one hand, or like 2 stock, or like 1 stock, 1 hand, or 1 stock, 2 hand, something like that. So having this be a 2 cost event, that again, events you can't typically search with normal cards, you have to like get them with specific cards or draw into them. I think that's perfectly fine. But to JB's point, I don't think Bushiroad's ever printed this effect on an event yet. So we're in uncharted waters here, as they say.
The Suisse was the most, like, the first time we had seen the effect anywhere in English in like forever, and in JP in either the same amount of time or slightly. I can't remember off the top of my head. Like, they did not give this out, and then they kind of were like, well, maybe we should start doing it again. And this is like the crystallization of like, I am sick to death of fucking Irons. He is going in the trash.
No, this is the
He's going in the
idea of,
grinder.
I am sick to death of slime.
That too, yeah. You just move because you move the system. Both of those, both of those
And the
decks are why.
Brainstormer.
Both of those decks are why you would play Suisse.
Yeah.
In a meta call, and yeah,
Yeah.
just turning it into an event that you can then play with the fucking door combo, which is a consideration. But it's what you would run that in if you're gonna run that door deck in the day's meta. You'd run a copy of
because
find a way to
you
secure
can just
it.
back row that shit, right? Put 2 in the back row, kill their board, and then
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you run,
I think for that synergy,
Musashi and stuff.
Yeah, I think for that synergy, you have to rate this pretty highly. But even in general, like, it's a card you might just play one of and whatever
Yeah, it's just very good
to help with board control.
It's fine. B+,
You know what's crazy too is that like that Suisse combo was in Hololive as a single rare, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that that deck saw no tops in Springfest.
No one
this year.
So like, I know that there have been people who have been played around like Suisse as like a mid game, like, you know, as a level 2 combo equivalent, and then you have like a 1 and a 3, because she's not Fisher by herself. You don't play her as your top end. You play like something else. In God, when I built fucking Mume Suisse, because they both did Stellar, you know, because Suisse Mume did a cover of it. If I had the summer like level 3 Mume to put into that deck,
oh yeah,
it would have actually done something. But I was playing before that set was even like announced, so Suisse was like my top end, and that was rough as fuck.
What do you mean? It's just like Maureen. It's just burn 2.
Yeah, but Suisse also burns 2 for pay 2. Like it's close to equal.
And Maureen is Maureen for entirely different reasons. We all know why we play Maureen.
Yeah.
There's 5 reasons.
Because she's a pirate girl.
And she's hot.
And she's old.
And she kills a guy on play to go like +1.5. So
the age of 30 is in demand.
Fucking the term hag has lost all meaning in today's society. Back in my day, hags were brewing potions with their 3 witch covens and summoning dark gods in my D&D campaigns. And now it's just
bubble, toil, and trouble.
And now it's just like a synonym for fucking Christmas cake. Like, come on, guys. Figure it out. Maybe it's just that now I am also a Christmas cake.
I mean,
that might be part of it.
Yeah.
But also, 25 to 30 is not old, and never has been. It might be your midlife crisis point if you're living a particularly dangerous life. Speaking of dangerous lives, you spent like 3 hours watching this video. This is the end of the video. That's the end,
friend. Heck yeah.
Flavor reason for mysterious letter. It's a letter that just shows up and everyone gets scared and everyone just starts getting confused and starts making theories about who's killing who.
Oh yeah,
it's Beatrice. It's always Beatrice.
It's just.
I mean, that is the magical answer.
When in doubt, it's someone named fucking Beatrice.
So like that.
Beatrice.
So the entire point of Umineko is: was this done by a witch or was this done by humans?
Was this done by a Beatrice or was it done by a Beatrice?
Which witch is a witch?
So yeah, if you want to build Beatrice waifu, good luck. Because some of these Beatrice characters are not Beatrice, and some of these not Beatrice characters are Beatrice.
I don't need I need a diagram. I would love to see a
okay,
Beatrice
I will send you
diagram.
the family tree, and then I will send you a list of who is who.
No. What I need is like, you know how you get like how we have like choice restricted lists like translated
Yeah.
out so they're written
Okay.
out.
Yeah, I can
What-
do that.
Yeah, just like have like a 6-row table including the title, and it's just like the different Beatrices and the card numbers. So then you can actually see, can you build waifu with any of them?
Alrighty then. We will
Alright.
see y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye all.